Did you know you can get your prescription?
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Still a summer feel to our Friday afternoon. Partly sunny skies, 92 for the high today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 80s again for evening plans. We're getting used to that. 72 for the warm overnight low. Saturday, partly sunny. Showers moving in late Saturday night after midnight. And Sunday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Expect scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder Sunday, and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, Charles Pan here at one of the exciting Money Show events where I'm presenting the keynote, broadcasting my live TV show, and best of all, giving away free copies of my newest book, Unbreakable Investor. It's a $29.95 value, but if you act now, I'll give you one too.
For your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505. Text CASH to 505-505.
I'm handing you my investing playbook, 348 pages on how I personally invest to target the biggest returns while mitigating risk. It's how I've been with the market so I never break. Guidance so crucial for today's investors that I'm covering the cost of the book and giving you a copy for free.
To get your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text the word CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505 while supplies last. Text CASH to 505-505 right now.
Shop summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts and get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Cleaner for just $8. Offer valid in-store only. The professional parts people can recommend the right brake parts and supplies for your next brake job at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Well, happy Friday. Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. We are going to dip in right now to the press conference with the acting Secret Service Director, Ronald Rowe. He's delivering a message right now on the coverage that we have seen or not seen of former president and candidate Donald Trump. Let's listen into the Secret Service right now.
Dynamic threat environment. The mission of the Secret Service is clear. We cannot
All right, it sounds like we don't have the audio here. Let's make sure that we can, I want to make sure that we understand that this is a press conference that is delivering from Washington, D.C. Here he is, Ronald Rowe right now. Let's listen in.
The technology and personnel needed to meet these new requirements. A failure on the part of the United States Secret Service. The paradigm shift will be a driving force to move the Secret Service from a state of reaction to a state of readiness. And the vision is for the Secret Service to be more agile, with the ability to escalate protection to the highest levels for numerous protectees for undetermined periods of time. But in order to do this, we need additional personnel, technical assets, and equipment for the sustainment of immediate and future needs. Our personnel have been in a state of hypervigilance following July 13th. We are certainly working our people hard, and I've used this term publicly, redlining. This cannot be about working our people harder. So with respect to changes, the workforce, the American public, they can expect changes in our processes for advances. There will be an increased use of technology, not only to assist in communications, but also situational awareness when we're doing our protective mission. There will be organizational changes. For example, I've already directed the creation of an applied research and development section to field new technologies, leverage the research of other government agencies, and calibrate our technical security assets to stay ahead of threat vectors and technical collection impacting Secret Service equities. This will be an iterative process, meaning it will be constantly evaluated, validated, updated, and evolving. We cannot be stagnant, and we must be weaned off the reliance of partners within DHS to assist us during high operational times. The Secret Service should be self-reliant outside of national special security events. However, we recognize that we will always need assistance from our partners within the Department of Homeland Security and our partners at the Department of Defense. And I want to take this moment now also to thank our workforce. I want to conclude by thanking the men and women of the Secret Service who are working tirelessly. This summer, we experienced an unprecedented operational tempo for our agency. Within a 45-day period, the Secret Service successfully implemented our operational security planning at 3 national special security events: the NATO Summit, the Republican National Convention, and the Democratic National Convention. We successfully protected both the presidential debate in Philadelphia and multiple protective visits commemorating the anniversary of the September 11th attacks. All of this took place while protecting major party candidates on the campaign trail. This high operational tempo continues as the Secret Service prepares for the United Nations General Assembly next week, where we expect to protect more than 140 visiting world leaders and heads of state. I am proud of all that we've accomplished in a very difficult and tumultuous time for the agency. And I recognize and thank the men and women of the Secret Service and their families for continuing to make great sacrifices in support of our enduring mission. And with that, I will take questions.
Director, given all of the attention and scrutiny related to these events, Sir, given all the attention and scrutiny related to these events, do you believe your highest level protectees will now need to campaign differently in how they organize their events and in how they live their daily lives, things like trips to golf courses or recreational time? Will they have to live differently in order to be safe?
Well, ultimately, Kelly, it's the responsibility of the Secret Service to make sure that we provide a secure environment for our protectees. We want them to make sure that they can live their lives with some type of normalcy, but they must do so with us providing the highest levels of protection, which we have been doing since July 13th. And so it's ultimately our responsibility to make sure that wherever our protectees go, we are creating a safe environment. And that comes back to us being able to use our methodologies, to use our redundancies, our systems that we have in place to create those secure environments.
Do they need to campaign differently, sir?
Those
are organized or set up, outdoor events, that kind of thing?
So since July 13th, we have been securing successfully outdoor events. And what you're seeing is an increased use of assets, increased use of ballistic glass. So we certainly make sure that when they are out there at an outdoor venue, that we are using our protective methodologies to create that safe environment.
I
Hello, Director. Thank you for taking the time. Could you just kind of go into a bit more detail about the conversations you had with Trump campaign staff about the selection of the Butler site? The report says that Secret Service agents saw it as a challenge, and the staff wanted to have the rally there. Did the staff go against your recommendation? Can you speak to exactly what was said and what the outcome was?
So, listen, the staff chooses a site, and ultimately it's on the Secret Service to secure it. So when the site was selected, the advance team went about identifying areas of concern. The AGR building was one of those hazards that was identified. But let me just be clear, Maria. Ultimately, it is the Secret Service's responsibility to secure a site. We certainly have conversations, and it doesn't matter whether it's a campaign staff or a White House staff. We have conversations, and we have very good working relationships with those staffs. But ultimately, it is the Secret Service's responsibility to secure a site.
Your comments? Director, thank you. Based on your review and analysis, what is the reason, what's the best explanation for why there was not law enforcement personnel covering the roof, physically on the roof itself, or making sure someone could not get on top of the roof? And the follow-up question would be, how disappointed are you in what you described as deficiencies in diligence?
Sure. So ultimately, Pierre, we have to be very direct and clear when we're talking to our state and local counterparts. With respect to Butler, I think what the Mission Assurance Review has identified is that there was that lack of clarity. And I can tell you since July 13th, when I've been out on the road and I've watched field offices and I gave guidance upon becoming the acting director to the field, we have to be very clear when we're talking to our state and local partners. We value those relationships with them. We need them to be assisting us and be shoulder to shoulder with us. And it appears that there was that lack of clarity with respect to Butler. And go again with your follow-up here.
So there was a lack of clarity that roof should be secure, period, full stop.
There was discussion about how the roof was going to be secured, and I think what it came back to is we should have challenged how that mechanism was being implemented. Meaning, we should have been more direct. We cannot be overly deferential to state and local law enforcement. Ultimately, it's our responsibility, and so we just have to be very clear when we're asking them for support. They want to help us, and what we found is that in this. They in the mission assurance interviews, it became apparent that in comparison to prior visits to that area, there was one prior visit in 2020, that there was a lack of assertion with respect to what exactly state and locals would have to require or would be required to support that advance.
Clarity on the second question. Simply, how disappointed are you when you see that, as the report states, that some personnel did not follow Secret Service protocols?
Well, I'm not going to get into employee disciplinary matters, but what I can tell you is the men and women of the Secret Service are dedicated professionals. And so while July 13th is a failure, we're not proud of it, but we certainly have been rising to this moment. The men and women in the field are rising to this moment. They are working tirelessly to make sure that the people we protect are safe. And so I will never be disappointed in our folks. I am proud of this agency. I am proud of our people.
Riley Sullivan, New York Times.
Hi. Thanks so much for doing this. On the question of the AGR buildings, is there a process that's standard for the day of the event that somebody from the Secret Service looks around and makes sure all of the assets are where they are? And since the roof of the AGR building was such a glaring omission, why didn't anybody raise that issue at the time? Or secondly, in the security room, look and say, I don't see any local police in here. How are we going to hear them?
Right, and I think that was a failure to challenge our assumptions. The assumption that local police were going to have more of a presence in that AGR building. Getting back to your question, there is that diligence that has to be done by the site agents to make sure that, hey, all of the assets are in place. And so there was an assumption that they had it covered, but there clearly was not that follow-up to make sure.
But is there a process that you look around and like a punch list and check it off? And
It is part of the principles of our advance and our protective methodologies.
okay. And secondly, just to follow up on the campaign question, you said it's ultimately the Secret Service's responsibility. So when there's a disagreement between the campaign and the Secret Service on a security issue, who has the last word?
So it's not about disagreement, it's about a negotiation. They certainly don't want any harm to come to their principal, and so they respect us. And so usually what it boils down to is escalating it up to a supervisor and a senior staff level. What I can tell you is that if there were discrepancies, and there were, regarding how the site was supposed to have been secured, how supervisors were briefed, and supervisors reported in their mission assurance interviews that they envisioned harder assets to be able to secure that line of sight, to be able to mitigate anything that might have been looking in or would have created an openness on the site at the Butler Farm Show. And so on the morning of, if there were those deficiencies, they were never escalated up to the supervisors to be able to resolve.
David Sponge, Fox News.
Thank you, sir. I have two questions. They're related. The first is looking forward. The House just voted within the last couple of hours unanimously from those that were present in the chamber to give presidential candidates the exact same Secret Service protection as sitting presidents. My first question is, can you handle that?
We've been doing that since July 13th, David.
So what is the purpose of the bill?
I don't know. You'd have to ask members of Congress that. What I can tell you is that when I say the highest levels of Secret Service protection, the former president is getting tactical assets. He's getting everything that the former president, that the current president has with respect to Secret Service assets.
And that was my second question. Can you explain that former President Trump is getting the same protection as President Biden and Vice President Harris? Because a lot of members of Congress on Capitol Hill are skeptical about that. There's a lot of talk saying clearly he didn't have the same protection because if he did, the golf course would have been secure in West Palm Beach. Can you tell people what's going on with that?
So with respect to West Palm Beach, what I can tell you without getting into our TTPs, our techniques, our tactics, our procedures, what I can tell you is that on that day, there were counter-sniper elements that were present with the former president on the golf course in proximity. There was an entire counter-assault team that was there in proximity. There was also a jump team in proximity. The advance agent who was part of the first element, whose goal was to sweep ahead, did his job. That young man is a very young agent early in his career. His vigilance, his reaction is exactly how we trained and exactly what we want our personnel to do. He identified a threat, an individual with a long gun, and he made swift decisions and took a swift action to be able to mitigate that. No shot was fired at the former president. The former president was not exposed to where he was on the golf course. And what I've said, and I said this Monday, that the procedures work, the redundancies work, so that high level of protection is working.
Nicole Skanga, CBS.
Acting Director, thank you very much for doing this. Two questions, just one on West Palm Beach. The busy public road that is adjacent to that sixth hole where the suspect was hiding is a well-known blind spot on that specific golf course. Why did no one within the U.S. Secret Service sweep behind that fence line for threats?
They were sweeping ahead, Nicole. So what I just explained is that that lead element was going ahead sweeping.
But was there anyone behind the fence where the road was sweeping there to see if anyone was in the bushes?
Having been there and seen the vantage point, whether they were on the public side or the private side, the bottom line is the individual was detected.
On Butler, you testified before Congress that all assets requested for the Butler rally by Trump's detail were approved. But there are Secret Service assets that may have prevented the tragedy on July 13th, most notably a counter-assault advance team that would have surveyed the site ahead of time or enhanced counter-drone protection that might have prevented the tragedy. Were those specific assets requested by Trump's detail? If they were they denied? And if they weren't, why weren't they requested?
So the counter-assault team had an element that was there that had embedded with local law enforcement, so we had tactical elements in place. The counter-assault team leader that day had been in direct contact in the days leading up to July 13th with those tactical elements.
But just to be clear, did the Trump detail ask for any additional resources that were denied by the Secret Service?
So based on the information I have right now, the asset request, all of those assets that were asked for were approved. And so what we're looking at now is, were there any additional ones that came in through other channels? But what I can tell you, based on the information I have now, the assets were approved.
We'll go to Holmes or CNN.
Two questions. When we're talking about Florida and the idea that this was the Secret Service working as it should, does this mean that no security will change for Trump when he goes golfing again?
Well, I think what we try to do, Holmes, after every incident, we look at it. What could we have done better? We look at everything. And it doesn't matter whether there's a critical incident that occurs. So we are looking and we're reevaluating to look at, do we need? I've had conversations with Sheriff Bradshaw in Palm Beach County. And so I will leave it to the local field office to carry on those conversations about making changes. That's where I'll leave that.
And then on Butler, if we can drill down on the specific timeline a little bit, at 6:08, we know that a local radio call went out that a man was on the roof. Now, my understanding is that the state police were in a separate area with locals, and their job was to communicate any local chatter to the Secret Service. Why was that 6:08 radio call not communicated to Secret Service, or was it by the state police?
So the information I have is that we had a member of the Pennsylvania State Police in our security room, and that's what spurs that phone call to the counter sniper response agent at 1810.
And so the state police never communicated a local radio call at 6:08 to the Secret Service?
What I'm saying is that the personnel that was in the security room passed that information, and that triggers the 1810 phone call.
Okay.
We'll go to Rebecca Beach at the Hill.
Hi, I know Congress has sounded a little resistant lately in terms of what it might do for funding for the Secret Service. Given the sort of paradigm shift that you've laid out today, I'm curious what you'll be looking for from Congress and sort of what you're seeking from lawmakers to carry that out.
We've been briefing, we've been providing information. Right now, I do think that, Congress has questions. We're responding to those questions and providing them information. But at the end of the day, I think everybody wants a strong Secret Service, and that's what I'm working towards. That's what members are working towards. And so we'll continue to have those conversations.
We'll go to Claudia with Univision.
Hi, thank you so much for doing this. Republicans in Congress, they want the same level of security than the president for the candidates. How realistic is really that? Can you be more specific on that? I know you answered that question, but can a candidate have the same level of security of a sitting president? And also, what changes are we expecting in the security area after, where most of the incidents happened?
So how I approach that, Claudia, is this. The way the Secret Service is structured, the President of the United States has the highest level of protection of any world leader, period, the end. The number of assets that the Secret Service provides and the Department of Defense provides is at the highest levels. Those same highest levels with respect to the Secret Service are being provided to the former president's detail. And so when it comes to maintaining this, where we are at right now is we have finite resources. The way we are structured with some of our classified assets, with some of our personnel, and with some of the president, we've now expanded that to include the former president. And so while we can do this, it is certainly, we are burning through a lot of assets and resources. And that's the argument that we've been trying to show. This isn't some pie in the sky trying to say, hey, we want this now. We are not capitalizing on a crisis. We are showing the math. We have finite resources, and we are stretching those resources to their maximum right now, which is going to require us to replace these assets. It's going to require us to also adjust, to look at this and evaluate that if we have to do this again, or do it because of some other situation that we have no other control of, we have to be able to sustain that for an indefinite period of time. And so I'm hopeful, and I am certainly engaged in these discussions. And I feel like at the end, we will get there because we have no other choice.
What changes are you going to make outside of the secure area? That zone where everything happens?
The outer perimeter. So
Yeah.
I think that's where we have to be very direct and clear with our state and local partners as to what we're asking of them.
Go to Joe Khalil with New Vision.
Thank you, Acting Director. I've got two questions. The first, it's our understanding it takes anywhere from 4 to 10 years for an agent to go through the training that rises them up to a presidential detail level. You've described a manpower issue. Given that, do you think that training timeframe might change so you can expedite getting more officers to a presidential detail should you need that?
So we're not going to drop standards, Joe. We have not dropped standards. You do need to develop those agents. And when agents start, you cannot put them on the highest level protection, protecting a protectee. When they graduate from our training facility, they go to a field. They do advances. They do criminal investigations. The importance of having that what we call phase one, that's where those agents that are doing federal investigations, that are interfacing with local law enforcement, those are skills that they learn. Analytic skills, how to conduct a federal investigation, how to interact with a U.S. attorney, how to interact with a state or local agency. And all the while they're doing that, they're also popping in and out doing protection, whether they're doing it in New York City for a United Nations General Assembly or they're doing it in advance for a visiting head of state or world leader that comes into their field office district. That's where they cultivate and sharpen those skills, and it will take them up until probably 4 years. Ideally, that sweet spot is between the 4th and 5th year where we send them off to a permanent detail. That's where we are getting to as far as the career path. And so it's critically important that we make sure that we still develop people. It is being on the Presidential Protective Division or the Vice Presidential Detail. It is a very, very high pressure situation. It requires a lot of maturity. It requires decision making, analytic skills, and the ability to problem solve. And it takes time to develop those skills, even though we've put you through training. The more seasoning you have in the field, the better off you're going to be as far as being a protection agent.
So then how do you address the manpower issue quickly?
So right now we've had robust hiring this year. By the time we close out the fiscal year, we're going to hire more than 400 special agents this year. Right now, looks like we're going to have a net gain in the hundreds, triple-digit net gains, something that we have not seen in a little while. I can tell you that applications right now are at an all-time high for applicants seeking employment with the United States Secret Service. So I do believe that we are going to meet this. We have no choice. We have the 2028 Summer Olympics ahead of us in Los Angeles. The Secret Service will be responsible for the security planning of that. That is going to require a tremendous amount of personnel, tremendous amount of resources, and a tremendous amount of collaboration with state and local and other federal partners. We are going to get there. We are getting there now. We have filled all of our training classes going into this next fiscal year. So we're getting there. We have turned the corner. We're showing those metrics to Congress. And I think that's the question that they've had. And we are going to show them that we can deliver on this.
And just second question is, former President Trump has said that he is going to the Alabama-Georgia football game this weekend. Are those kinds of events particularly concerning given he could be around tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people?
So I'm not going to comment on protectee schedules. What I'll tell you is that each event is complex and each advance is different. And those advanced teams, they know what they have to do to make a secure environment for our protectees.
Thank you for doing this. You said we were now moving into the accountability phase of this Butler investigation. You did not want to discuss names of who might be punished, so to speak, but can you give us more detail, at least maybe how many people would face punishment or repercussions for what happened in Butler, at what levels of the organization those people represent, and what level of punishment, again, they may face?
So, again, I can't comment on this. This is a personnel matter that is still pending. What I will tell you is that I have not asked for anybody to retire. That was not, I know some of that was reported. That is false. And with respect to the disciplinary process, it will be handled in accordance with our table of penalties. That will be led by the Office of Integrity in coordination with our Office of Professional Responsibility.
And then one follow-up as well. All this talk about making things more robust, more agents in the field, this type of thing. This is not the first presidential election you guys have had to secure. So why weren't all those moves put in place prior to this year's election?
So the former president has had robust security around him since he left office, more robust than prior former presidents.
Jackson Richmond.
Thank you, Acting Director Rowe. Jackson Richmond, Epoch Times. Has security been adjusted or increased following the Florida attempted assassination attempt? After all, according to Congressman Matt Gaetz, a DHS official has warned that there are 5 assassination teams targeting former President Trump. The official warned that there isn't enough protection to deal with that level of threat. Are you aware of this assessment, and what is the Secret Service doing to respond?
So I will tell you, as I mentioned earlier, we, of course, are evaluating coming out of West Palm Beach, and we're having those conversations with state and locals. I'm not going to talk about unnamed sourcing or the report you mentioned. I'm not familiar with that.
And local law enforcement doesn't have the same training that Secret Service agents do. Will the Secret Service be training local law enforcement ahead of events as to prevent another Butler?
So right now we're actually having some very good discussions with the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center about developing a curriculum to assist our state and local partners. And you know what I'll say is some of the things that we've been talking about. Our state and local partners, and I know people have said they're not trained like the Secret Service. Men and women of law enforcement protect their communities every day. They understand how to handle a crisis situation. They understand how to respond to a violent felony in progress. They know what their jobs are. We certainly, when we ask them and enlist their assistance, we're relying on them. So I think it's important that we always try to give back to them, whether it's through training or forensic support or investigative support. And so one of the things that we're contemplating now is partnering with the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center to develop not only a law enforcement guide, but also develop a training curriculum through FLETC with a cadre of Secret Service personnel to be able to train them in the principles of advance. And that will only help them when dignitaries come to their district, or perhaps if they're protecting a mayor or a locally elected official. So we're all about giving back to them. Next month, we're going to unveil a guide on how to come up with a multidisciplinary threat assessment team that's going to be led by our National Threat Assessment Center. So we are very, very in tune with what our state and local partners, how they support us, and we're constantly evaluating what we can do to not only bolster those relationships, but give back to them.
Thank you.
Sadie Gurman, Wall Street Journal.
All right, you've been listening to the press conference that's been going for about 30 minutes now of the United States Secret Service. You have heard Ronald Rowe, who's the acting Secret Service director, give an explanation as to what happened on both of the different occurrences. And I don't know if it's really satisfactory, but we will continue to watch and monitor the rest of this particular press conference. A lot of the questions are kind of being cyclical now. And the one thing that I have, the takeaway is they're not talking about any sort of failure on a Secret Service agent's part, being the disciplinary actions. He's not asking anybody, he said, to retire. I assume he means to resign. There's no action taking place there. So we will wait and see if there is any retribution for the lack of protection of Donald Trump. The House of Representatives voted unanimously with those who were present to give Donald Trump and any political presidential candidate the same level of protection that the president of the United States has. That's something that has happened here as well. All right, well, we're going to take a break. It is Friday afternoon, and we're glad that you were here with us. We're our YouTube live chat poll today. Which candidate has the momentum? Is it Kamala Harris or is it Donald Trump? We want to know what you think. You can visit us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and let us know who you think has the most momentum currently in this campaign. When we come back, Tammy Owens of RE/MAX Alliance is going to join us to talk about an event that's near and dear to my heart, Night of Rockstars. It's coming up soon. It's an amazing event. Learn all about it when we return.
All right. There's something wrong with this plot. The actors here have not got a clue. Baby, I'm howling for
This
you.
is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
You know Diamonds Direct for their exquisite diamonds and fine jewelry. What about luxury watches? With a handpicked collection by the industry's top timepiece experts, skip the waiting list and get the timepiece you've been eyeing right away. And this month only, enjoy 0% interest for 5 years on all the top brands. Imagine owning a $15,000 luxury watch for just $250 a month. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct, where you can shop direct for diamonds and watches.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, who has the momentum between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump? Let us know which one you think. For me, this is kind of a tough one, so I'd like to see what you think. Leave a comment. YouTube live chat poll today. You type in Annie Fry when you go to YouTube, and that will come up. 1241. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Show. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. It's a great pleasure of mine to welcome my friend Tammy Owens into the studio here with RE/MAX Alliance, because one of my absolute favorite nights of the entire year is the Night of Rockstars event, which I have emceed. I think this is my third year that I have done this. Is that correct? And Brad, you've been to the Night of Rockstars before.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's such a wonderful experience, and it's such a unique event. So, Tammy, I want to give you the opportunity to talk about kind of the genesis of where this event came from, and just really, like, how did it come to be that you were going to highlight these families who have special needs children and celebrate them all for a really, really great cause?
So many years ago, there were probably 8 of us that went to an event similar, but they didn't, like, the kids just walked across the stage. So we just kind of all got together and said, how can we elaborate on this, make it bigger, make it better? And one of our agents in our office has a band. So he's like, well, what if we let all the kids get up on stage and perform?
Really good band.
A really good band.
Really good band.
Their name is Where's Dave? So Where's Dave learns the child's favorite song. And it might be Itsy Bitsy Spider. It might be a Barney song or the shark. What was the shark?
Baby Shark.
Baby Shark.
Yes.
And they turn
everybody's
it into,
favorite song,
yes.
Baby Shark.
And they turn it into a rock song, and they perform it with the child. Just absolutely amazing. Not a dry eye in the area.
No.
But it's just grown from there. I think our first event we had right over 300 people, and now we're at about 800.
It's a packed room, and the tickets are sold out. So usually what I would do is have somebody on like Tammy and RE/MAX Alliance, their community team that leads this Night of Rockstars event, and I'd be saying, get your tickets, get your tickets. What I need you to do is put this on your calendar for next year when they do it again, so you can get your tickets ahead of time. But there is more that can be done. And, you know, when you talk about doing a fundraising event like this, where everybody who is participating is volunteering.
Absolutely.
All the funds raised go to help a specific cause. And you have 2 entities that are the beneficiaries of this. So you're raising money. I know that you've raised very big numbers of money in the past. Tell me about the purpose, the why of celebrating these families. Who are you helping?
So our office, RE/MAX Alliance, is a Children's Miracle Network office. So it's very close to our heart. I personally have twin grandchildren that were born 3 months early. So this is just something I'm very passionate about. And so every year, our local Children's Miracle Network gets half of the proceeds from the event. And then the other half goes to a local children's charity that we choose. This year we chose Equipping the Called, which they're amazing. They are completely just a charity, non-for-profit, and they bring in clothes, curling irons, just different items that kids would need. So if a foster child is placed into a home, that child gets to go to this store and shop without anybody else there to get all the things that they need.
Tammy, that's great. I mean, hearing how many different ministries and organizations and 501c3s you affect from this one night. My question for you, though, is how do you choose the kids? Because there have to be so many parents and kids that are so excited to maybe be a part of this. How do you decide?
So they're nominated.
Okay.
A lot of the kids are nominated through past rock stars or through the agents in our office. We have a really hard time saying no.
Yeah.
So typically we choose 12 children. This year we stretched it a little bit because we had one young lady, we found out after we got her nomination that she was a little too old. So we have an honorary this year. And then we had one come in at the last minute, and we're like, we cannot tell this
Can't
kid
say
no.
That's great.
I'm so happy to be able to be a part of this event, to be able to see the joy. I mean, good grief, we talk about joy a lot, but this is the most legit. Brad, you've been to these events. You've seen the experience of having these families who are really, I mean, it is a different lifestyle to live raising a child with any sort of special needs. And the spectrum of people who are recognized, the kids who are recognized, they can be, nonverbal to able to go up there and help perform the song on the stage, all throughout that whole spectrum. But it takes a village to help these children be raised and to celebrate them, and this night is all about it. It's an incredibly joyful but also emotional evening.
Yeah, I like when you show up, so you're all decked out in your
best.
Your best, right?
Yeah.
So I've got an Italian suit that I like to wear, and we'll go out there, and there's a red carpet event, and they bring these kids in on a big limousine bus, and they let them come down the aisle on this red carpet while everybody gets their cameras out with their flashes, and they're snapping pictures, and Annie's interviewing them as they're coming in, and they give them the whole rock star treatment. And then you get to see these little kids go up there, and I say little, some of these kids are, I don't know.
Teenagers.
Yeah. They go up there, and they just absolutely embrace their song, and they embody the spirit that you want everybody to have, and they just go out there and they just let it rip. They sing their songs. Everybody has a good time. People dancing on the dance floor, and there's a ton of stuff that you can bid on and stuff there too. So
Tammy, I want to draw people's attention who are listening right now, who obviously, like I said before, the tickets are sold out. I tested the theory here, and I'm asking you folks listening right now to follow my lead if you would, but I am leading on this. I tested it before we came on the air. If you go to nightofrockstars.com, you can learn about what RE/MAX Alliance's community team is doing with Night of Rockstars. They are a 501c3. If you scroll down, it's like maybe 2 scrolls down on the page, there's an opportunity to donate $20. And it's super simple to do. You can donate directly to this cause and impact the overall haul that they're able to make on this fundraiser to help these families. When you're raising, you talked a little bit about the other charity involved, but like Children's Miracle Network, what kind of work do they do with the funds that you're able to raise, or what do you know about their efforts that when people do go donate that $20 to the Children's Miracle Network hospitals that they're helping to do?
We have 2 Children's Miracle Network hospitals here in the area, Children's and then Cardinal Glennon. They do all kinds of things, and I've gone on tours of the hospitals, and it may be a video camera in a newborn's room where mom and dad have to go back to work, but they can log in and see their baby and talk to their baby while they're gone. It can be support care. It could be, something with an animal. They do all kinds of things for each of the hospitals here in St. Louis.
I'm really excited about this year because a family near and dear to me, one of my best friends has a child who we've watched him grow up, and he's going to be 8 maybe shortly, or maybe he just had his 8th birthday, I think. And I really have seen the strength of my friends as they have had to go through in and out of Children's Hospital. And when he was born, there were so many questions and so few answers because you just have to wait for time to pass in order for you to have the answers that you're going to need to know what treatment comes next. And then oftentimes these children will have conflicting conditions where you can treat one way, but that might affect a different condition in another way. And the resources that St. Louis has here in these 2 hospitals and the ability to care for these families, if you don't ever experience it up front, and I have in a secondary fashion through this family that's very dear to me, seen what is being asked of these parents to go through this, it's a lot to ask of a family. And then these families, these parents, they rise up, the grandparents, you create this village who looks out after these children. It's a lot of work. It's very tiring. They wouldn't change any of it. You know, they understand their responsibility in the situation, but a night like Night of Rockstars puts them in a community with other people who actually get it, even more than maybe the parents or the grandparents of those who are raising those kids. You empathize, you do what you can to help them. But when you put these families together of people who have a common shared existence on some level that the rest of us maybe can't understand, and then you support them this way, and it's all going to help a really good cause. I mean, it's hard for me to not, $20 at nightofrockstars.com. I think we can all pitch in and do that. It's really simple to do. It took me 30 seconds. Are there other opportunities in the future for people, if people are hearing this and it's speaking to their heart, to maybe go to nightofrockstars.com? I think there's a contact us button on there as well. Like, what other help can you use or have to make this an even bigger, better event in the future?
So obviously, nominating children. You can go on there and you can contact us through the website, nominate a child, obviously make donations, baskets. We had somebody donate like 30 baskets this year.
Oh, that's great.
Monetary, just anything, really. I mean, we're always looking for help and support with this.
Tammy, what year is this? How many years in a row now?
This is our 5th year.
5th? Okay. So with this being such a unique event, because, I've worked in Christian ministry and different radio stations. This is one of those events that just stands out, that you just remember it more. And you talk about charity things all year, and they're very good. This one just is so unique. Are there other people doing anything like this in other parts of the country that you know of?
No, and we've actually ran that kind of up with Remax to say, hey, if anybody wants to do this, we will work with them and kind of create it for them.
I would not be surprised to see this become something that goes from St. Louis to nationwide, because it's just so neat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, the evening is coming up. It is, I think it's the 27th, is off the top of my head.
Friday night.
I've had it on my calendar for months and months just to make sure that I was free on it. If you go to nightofrockstars.com, you will be able to scroll down a little bit, and they just got a $20 donate button. That's what they're asking for. That's what I'm asking of you. I've done it myself, and I encourage you to check that out also, and just be a part of something that is really wholesome, that is really good. I'm constantly asking you as a listener to join me in my effort to try to reach out and help in our community and do it on our own, not have to wait for somebody to get elected into an office one way or the other in order to make a difference. We can make such a big difference without having to get politics involved in all, and it's really our responsibility to do that. And Brad, like I said, the event in and of itself, it's just like it overflows your heart.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, so you feel like you are participating in making these kids' dreams come true, which is what I always like. You feel like you're doing something good, but then you're just inspired and amazed by what they fight through, what they go through, what their parents go through. It's going to sound weird, but you just kind of want to wrap up and give a great big hug to everybody that's there. And it's such a good time.
Yeah.
Such a good time.
Tammy Owens with Remax Alliance and the Remax Alliance community team. Thank you for coming in and talking to us about this. We love to shout it from the mountaintops.
Thank you for all your support. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you bet. It's the least I can do, and I'm glad to be able to have the opportunity to do that. Go to nightofrockstars.com, and if you're so inclined, it's probably payday for a lot of us. You got $20 to spare. This is the best place you can put it on a Friday afternoon. We are thankful to Remax Alliance for what they are doing and the Remax Alliance community team, and go to nightofrockstars.com for more information. All right, let's get back to the rest of the business of the day. We come back. Don't go away.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
When you bought your home, you took on more than just a house payment. You spend weekends on upkeep, repairs drain your bank account, and with your equity locked up, you can't do anything. You love your home and want to stay, but it's a constant struggle. What if you could sell your home, reclaim your weekends, and not have to move? You can with TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. TrueHold will buy your home now while the market is high. You can bank all that equity in cash and stay in your home with a lease. Plus, you won't have to worry about property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Join thousands that have secured their retirement, paid off bills, and financed their dreams. Get an offer now while the market is hot. Call 1-855-300-9993. That number again is 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com to cash out your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com. Don't wait. Call now. 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Taking accountability. I'm Therese Crowley, Fox News. Secret Service taking accountability for its failures after the first assassination attempt on former President Trump, finding a lack of agents and communication plaguing the service as Congress votes unanimously to provide presidential-level protection to major candidates.
The Secret Service did not know where local law enforcement, including a tactical team, were operating when a gunman opened fire at a Trump rally on July 13th. A mission assurance report from the agency says there was a consistent theme of communication deficiencies between state and local law enforcement personnel, radio frequencies and channels, and the ability to clearly convey the Secret Service's needs. The Butler Farm Show site, where the rally was held, was also seen as a challenge by law enforcement, but security measures to alleviate those concerns were not carried out. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Well, after the exploding devices disrupted Hezbollah militants and communications, Israeli forces fired rockets on Hezbollah sites, including one in Beirut.
Israeli Defense Forces reported that after intercepting most of the 140 rockets launched into civilian areas of northern Israel, they identified a member of the Hezbollah terrorist organization entering a site in southern Lebanon and struck that location. Hours later, the IDF reported conducting a targeted strike in Beirut. Video shows what appears to have been a residential building. The IDF didn't immediately confirm who was targeted, but several outlets are reporting it was Hezbollah senior commander Ibrahim Akil. After this week's attack on Hezbollah members, in which pagers and walkie-talkies exploded, killing at least 32 and injuring thousands, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah said the group will continue with its daily strikes against Israel. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Congress passed a bill from conservative Nancy Mace that migrants convicted of sex crimes be deported. More than 150 Democrats voted against. Yet Mace says the message is if you commit acts of violence against against children and women. You will not find sanctuary here. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Still a summer feel to our Friday afternoon. Partly sunny skies, 92 for the high today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 80s again for evening plans. We're getting used to that. 72 for the warm overnight low. Saturday, partly sunny. Showers moving in late Saturday night after midnight. And Sunday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Expect scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder Sunday at 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
We know you've got an interesting take on things. You can tell us by clicking the microphone button next to Listen Live when you're on the Odyssey app. Record a short message for us to hear when you tune into 97.1 on the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, happy Friday. Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're back in our old studio.
It feels like an old friend who got cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, we're trying to. Yeah, there are things that are different.
Yeah,
we're working it out. If you got, if there's something you want us to know about how it sounds or whatever, you jump on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and you can leave a comment. You can also vote for the YouTube live chat poll today, which is, Which candidate has momentum, Harris or Trump? I saw polls today that I think Nate Silver's forecast, who is the old 538 guy, he left that and says it's trash now. Yeah. You got to talk into your microphone. Your microphone has to be on.
Okay.
That's that part of the studio hasn't changed.
Well, I had to get engineers' approval before.
You need to get closer to the microphone.
Had to get the engineers' approval.
Even closer.
Hello?
Everything's different. Engineers' approval to turn the microphone on?
Yeah. Just because it's me.
538.
Nate Silver, man.
We're trying. I'm glad this is Friday.
Me too.
Me too.
He ran 538, which was kind of the Bible for polling and all that stuff for a while, and then he left that, and now he refers to it as totally slanted, totally biased. He's been projecting Donald Trump as a 60+% chance of winning the Electoral College, which means he'd be the president. And as of yesterday, I saw that Harris is now in the lead.
Oh, with Nate Silver?
Yes.
Oh, this is news to me.
This is why polls are trash.
Skip one day and you miss a lot.
Does it sound like he's in another room?
It sounds like there is another mic that is open
Sounds like
other
he's-
than his.
Sounds like he's in the toilet.
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello.
You know what I'll just do? I'll just go ahead and go home. I'll leave you guys with be or not to be. Have a good time.
We have 8,961 subscribers, and we made a commitment yesterday that if we got to 9,000 today, that you would play your, how are you referring to it, commercial?
Mail clinic. Mail clinic.
Mail clinic.
MAIL.
For mail problems.
For mail problems if you're having trouble with your ballots. Yeah. if you just don't have that feeling anymore that you have, that you used to have.
Gosh, you've really committed to this.
I have. Yeah, we went all in. Got multiple voices.
When you say we, I want to be clear that it is not me included in your we.
Oh, no. Hey, you were a part of the original joke, which happened live, just as many things do.
I don't think that the original joke was intended to be funny. It just kind of happened.
Well, I know the original joke was something about, oversharing. And I said, yeah, we don't share about Brad's mail problems on the air.
Oh.
And you
then I said,
no, may I yell?
Yes. I was just trying to protect Brad.
Which you did.
And you were like, you know what we should do? We should make it a really big thing.
Let's make it into a production. Literally.
But we need 9,000 subscribers in order to share that. And you've produced it?
It's ready to go.
Is it any good, though?
From our test group, our very small test group.
So Brad
told me chef's kiss this morning.
Yeah, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I mean, it sounds like he worked really hard.
Are you grading
on it.
Ryan on a curve? We asked him to create a new music bed or a new intro for Next Question, which is what we do for Ask Us Anything. I wanted to call it Next Question now. So I asked him 3 weeks ago to create something. And what he did was he just changed the intro. He didn't change the music.
No, he didn't change the music.
I thought it was very good music.
It wasn't. Well, it's not. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, we used it for years.
The old music, it just was tired.
Okay.
He needed a nap.
Okay. So what I did was...
So I articulated to you that we just need a whole fresh new look. And you decided to do 50%.
Well, I did the open, and I thought if we just have the beat stay. So,
which I specifically was part of the request to change.
So now, knowing all of that...
Maybe a difference of creative opinion.
Knowing all of that now...
No! It's not new.
It is all new. In fact,
now it's all
new. Yeah. It's a brand new bed.
Have you heard it, Brad?
I have.
Grade it.
B+.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll take a B+ on that.
Is that a Ryan Wiggins B+ on a curve?
Well,
or is it a legit
listen,
B+?
It's a legit B+, but I grade Ryan harder because I know what he's capable of, and I know how high of a quality like with the Annie song. He did a really good job on that. He did it like in 10 minutes.
I hated it. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, you hated it, but I mean, as far as production quality goes, amazing. But he can do really good stuff. So I say, Ryan, this is your absolute ceiling. It's way up here. But if I get something that's like on the first floor, I'm not going to give you a good grade for it, even though it might be good for everybody else.
Vicky says that she's listening on her phone while driving on the Oklahoma Turnpike, and she says it sounds perfect.
Vicky, I'm not sure that's true.
I think she's grading on a curve.
I think she's great. Yeah, because us in the room, we're going, why do you sound so weird?
I don't want to talk about it, and we're probably going to get in trouble for talking about it.
Will.
But we've got this awesome new board. The engineers have been working around the clock to make all of this happen, and we are the first ones to be broadcast. So, of course, they're going to have to, it is, I've referred to it before as whack-a-mole. And so things are going to pop up, and we've got to figure out how to remedy them on the fly, and we are the guinea pigs here. But what I'm hearing is so distracting. I can't focus.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Here's where we become real professionals. If you have a normal day and we do great, so what?
I feel like we're all sitting in Ryan Wiggins' bathtub.
No, you don't. No, if you sat in Ryan Wiggins' bathtub, you'd hear nothing for a couple minutes and then the sound of rushing waters.
Well, we're dressed.
Yeah, if you were, it'd be weird if we were all in my bathtub doing a show. You want to move on?
Yeah, I think it's time. I
You
don't
want to
care
talk
what it
about
sounds
Nate
like.
Silver some more?
No, I don't. I will mention that in that Nate Silver forecast that now gives a little bit of an edge to Kamala Harris. What is it that's making people think that Kamala Harris has the edge? She was on with Oprah yesterday, and this is how Oprah began the event, talking to her group of
people. On the way here, when I was coming through the airport, black man stopped me, and he said I guess he knew I was coming here for something like this, and he goes, "Well, I'm just tell you, I'm voting for Trump."
What? Really?
Why are you telling us that? Like that you don't, Oprah. Nobody's making you say that. Oprah's talking about coming to do a big. I think it's funny how some people are referring to it as a media event. It's a campaign event. Are you kidding me? Oprah was at the DNC convention, being like, "Now's the time." But she's telling the story about a black man approaching her at the airport, going, "Just so you know, I'm voting for Trump." I mean, times are tough.
Oprah's a huge celebrity.
Oprah is a huge celebrity. Ben Stiller also.
I mean, it was great though because everybody was so energized, and I mean, I got to go to the convention and see her speech, which was just incredible, and feeling that energy. Feeling kind of going from a stop Trump mode into a go Kamala mode. The people starting to really hear what she's about.
So I don't know, what would you call that? I would call that joy.
Oh yeah, he was very enthusiastic.
The the shift out of stopping Trump to cheering for Kamala Harris. I don't see that happening yet.
I don't either.
Maybe in a manufactured celebrity Zoom call with a few people present.
That stuff does matter, though. It's just that I think we're at a place where America sees through celebrity, sees through media. After the last 4 years, after COVID especially, I just don't think we're in the same place where everybody just goes, well, that's the official narrative. They don't really buy into it as much. For you to walk up, Oprah, again, is a huge, huge celebrity. Mm-hmm. She probably could walk into any international airport. Take the pitch.
Yeah, good take.
Thank you.
She could be.
That reminds me of one I took yesterday that I forgot to tell you. I'm going to write it down right now.
Please do in the break. In any part of the world, she's probably well known enough. Even if you've never seen the Oprah show, you know that she's a huge celebrity. For you to see Oprah walking through an airport and go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go walk up to Oprah and tell her I'm voting for Trump. That takes some stones, man.
I wonder about Oprah, and this is just like celebrity in general. There's kind of like in my brain, and I want to get your opinion on this. There's two levels of celebrity. There's like recognition and influence. And I think Oprah is still super high on that recognition thing. I don't know where she is on that influence scale yet.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
You think she's still pretty super high on influence?
No, I think there's a separation. I think that's two ways to break it down. I don't know a single person. I'm going to see, let's put it at 30 years old. That might be too young. Who's like, but what does Oprah think?
Yeah.
About anything.
Yeah.
And there are people who are probably under 25 that are like, who is Oprah?
Maybe.
What is she? How does she? I haven't seen Oprah in years.
Yeah, does she still do a show?
She has her network. Yes, she has shows.
Oh, so she does her own show on her network.
I like how you said own show, because that's what it's called.
Oh, I don't know anything
Oprah
about her
Winfrey
network. I read her magazine like it's gospel. Oh. Love O.
I don't think it's still in.
Every 5th of the month, whenever I go to the mailbox, I'm like, I can't wait for my O.
We are a professional.
I think you're right.
show.
I don't think it's in circulation anymore.
I don't think that it's not in circulation because people don't want the magazine anymore. I just think people don't want magazines anymore.
Yeah, people don't want magazines.
I'm looking at the OWN network right now, which you can find at Oprah.com. Love and Marriage Detroit, First Time Buyers Club. I think I've heard of that before. Bell Collective, don't know anything about that. Love and Marriage Huntsville, Family Empire Houston, The Never Ever Mets.
What exactly are you reading?
Those are shows on her network.
Oh, okay.
I am looking at all of the people who are featured in these 9 shows on the top of the page, and every single person is black, which is fine. But I guess that's the target there. It's kind of like a BET of sorts.
It's probably black female, is my guess.
No, I mean,
as far as their target demo.
But the target demo,
Yeah.
yes. So she's definitely got. Gosh, I can like hear the inside of your nose, right?
Sounds great, doesn't it? I cleaned it yesterday. Didn't have time today.
My goodness.
Did that for you. Thought we're going to be in a new studio.
Mics might be a little hot.
We'll clean this out.
Do you think the people want to hear the male problem?
Well,
promo?
yeah, I think they do.
Is it going to be something they want to unhear?
Oh, no.
Is it going to be something I want to unhear?
No, gosh. You'll have a good time with it. Everybody's going to have a good time with the Mayo Clinic commercial.
I don't think that we're going to get to 9,000 today. We need 39 subscribers. So we're going to have to do something better than this to get over 9,000. I don't know how many people are going to come to the YouTube channel today.
I guess what you're suggesting is that I take off my undershirt. Okay, fine. I will.
Nobody suggested that.
If we get to 9,000, I'll take off my undershirt.
Do you wear undershirts?
Yeah, wear one right now.
I see you have a second shirt on. Is that just a T-shirt that's smaller than the top shirt you're wearing?
Yeah, I don't wear one that's bigger on the underneath.
If you think about undershirts, that's a specific type of a thing. It's not just like the location of the shirt that you're wearing.
Right.
Undershirts, I'm thinking of the white tank tops, which have been referred to as something that I'm not going to say here out of respect for the...
Spaghetti shirts.
What?
Spaghetti.
What?
Yeah. They have like little spaghetti straps.
No,
they're not. No.
People eat spaghetti in them.
It's called an A shirt.
It's called a what?
An A shirt.
I haven't heard this either.
Can you verify that?
Yeah,
is that like a man thing?
It's what's on the package when you buy them.
A?
Yeah, A shirt.
Why?
I don't know. Because it looks like an A if you turn it upside down? I don't know.
Gotta go get one of these shirts. Go find somebody who's wearing one of these shirts and ask if you can borrow it.
I'll go around the office.
Do you wear an undershirt?
Yes.
Do all men wear undershirts?
No, if you're in really good shape, you don't have to.
You probably wouldn't want to. Why?
Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to.
Why are you wearing one?
You just don't wear a shirt.
Yeah, you just don't. Yeah, you just come to the office. You got to shave that chest, though.
Yeah. What's up, ladies?
What's up?
Do men shave their chests for women, or do men prefer it for themselves?
Oh gosh, there's so many reasons. Yeah. I've never shaved my chest in my life, but I'm going to talk like I'm an expert on this.
Better to wax than shave.
Oh gosh, yes. I'll tell you what. If you're going to do it, you got to do it because the initial pain, yes, it hurts. Like to put a big wax strip down the center of your chest and just pull.
You ever waxed anything?
Yeah, I have. I've waxed my eyebrows before.
That's good.
Yeah,
I support that.
I don't anymore, but for a while I was like, oh, I'll take care of myself.
Do you do it any less?
Yes, I do it less.
Said you didn't do it anymore.
I don't do it anymore. But, if you're somebody who's going to be on the cover of, let's say, a romance novel.
Why was it that you did it? Skip it. Let's not get distracted.
This is not a well-known fact.
What would the name of the romance novel be that you were on the cover of?
Hot, and then I can't say the last word. Starts with an S.
Spaghetti.
Can you imagine buying a romance novel with me on the cover? It's just called Hot Blank.
Hot Spaghetti.
Hot Spaghetti. I was going to tell you that for a while in the late 90s, they had to use So you remember when Fabio got hit in the face by that goose?
It wasn't a goose.
So for a little while,
Was it on a roller coaster?
It was on a roller
Yeah, it was
coaster.
like a duck.
I'm pretty sure it was a goose.
Okay.
So when that happened, he got taken out of the game for a little bit. So they needed somebody, and this is when I was at the peak of my.
Google Fabio, but I was starting to write a hot spaghetti.
So when they needed a Fabio double for like 6 months.
Goose.
I was probably 17. I stepped into that role very briefly. And there's a couple of hot spaghetti novels out there.
It's like
You wouldn't know it, but it's me.
hot romance novel meets spaghetti western.
That's right.
You've never really seen this Genesis before.
Yeah, it's super hot and romantic, and it's in the Grand Canyon.
And I don't want another.
Right back, don't go away.
I know it might sound sappy, but you make me so happy, like the first day of summer.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Call you darling, you
Follow
call
Annie
me
on
honey.
Twitter
No,
at
don't
Annie
matter
Fry
if you
Show.
run out of money, you make me laugh while I'm making dinner. You're so fun and it's so simple.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all 3 with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Friday afternoon, have a great weekend. I will not be here. Ryan Recker, pinch hitting, no Reardon Roundtable. We'll pick it up again next week.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Fry Show. We took that Secret Service press conference earlier in the show. Did you have any takeaways from that? We were doing a lot of tech stuff while we were airing that, but
man, I wrote down some quotes that he was giving. It almost felt like we listened to about 25 minutes of nothing. He said things, and one of the things that the chyron from Fox was that Trump is getting the same protection as Biden apparently now, and he wasn't before, is my assumption. But he made some quotes that were like, "It is part of our systems of advance and protective methodology, the assertion of mechanism of the highest extent." You're like, what?
You wrote that down?
Kamala Harris wrote that down.
Yeah, I mean, it was just words. And they, I guess to some extent, when you're trying to speak professionally, you end up doing that a little bit. But it was a lot of that. And people kept asking about accountability. And he kept saying, well, that's still internal. So why are you giving a press conference then if it's still internal? That's what people want to know.
When you speaking about Kamala Harris, her Oprah situation, what did they bill that as? It wasn't it's not an interview. It doesn't. I mean, if you have Donald Trump, I wonder at Fox News, I get a news alert every morning about the tally of. I'm kind of over it. Like, the point has been made. How many interviews Trump and Vance have done compared to how many interviews Harris and Walz has done. So I don't know what they're counting as an interview with Donald Trump. But if he sits down and he's talking to RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard and those types of people, to me, those are campaign events.
Yes.
Those are not people who you're sitting on the other side of who are going to press you if they feel as though you are not telling the truth. The National Association of Broadcast Journalists might be an opportunity for Trump to count that as an interview. When Kamala Harris sat down across from the NABJ, I don't know that they push back on her a lot, but I think every time she does sit down, though, she's still exposing that she's got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, these are friendly, if you want to call them interviews, they're almost like chats. Like, yeah, just, a friendly chat. When you sit down with Oprah and she's voting for you and she spoke at the DNC for you.
Yeah, but
that's a friendly chat. The difference, Donald Trump just did one of these with Gutfeld.
Yes.
That's what that was.
Yes.
It's fine. I like seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to hear substance. So it's weird to see Donald Trump doing it because he doesn't do it much. So when he does, you go, oh, that's different. That's all Kamala Harris does is Donald Trump sitting down with Gutfeld type interviews.
What's the biggest issue this election?
The economy.
Well, here's Joe Biden. Remember him? He's the current president of the United States on the economy.
I believe the importance for the country to recognize this progress because if we don't, the progress we made will remain locked in the fear of negative mindset that dominated our economic outlook since the pandemic began.
Yeah, shame on you if you have a negative outlook on the economy. He wants to make sure that we really fortify the progress that we've made so that we really understand, what is at stake here. His legacy, Joe Biden's legacy. Kamala Harris was asked at that Oprah event about the cost of living and what would happen in a Harris presidency about the cost of living.
We really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah, first of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. Oh. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family and working hard and
hopes, dreams, and ambitions all at the same time.
I didn't know I could have all three of those.
Yeah, you can in Harris's America.
Finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that. And there are a number of ways. One is bringing down the cost of everyday necessities, including groceries.
That's the literal question that was asked of you. How are you going to bring down the cost of living? And then she told you could have hopes, dreams, and aspirations. And at the end, she's like, but we do need to consider how we can reduce the cost of living. Holy crap, lady.
How do you bring down prices of groceries? Well, one of the things we want to do is let's talk for a minute, but then at the end of it, I want to tell you that I need to bring down the cost of groceries.
Yeah. And she's like, you see, we agree.
Yeah, we need to do the work.
Oh.
Joy.
What is the work? What is the work that needs doing?
Well, here's another thing that happened. There's been discussion as of late on Kamala Harris's position on gun ownership. She has said, we played this clip yesterday, where she said in late 2000s when she was the Attorney General in the state of California, that the sanctity of your home will not stop them from coming in, just to make sure that you as a gun owner are acting in a responsible manner. And of course, you have to ask the question, well, who determines what is and is not responsible? If she thinks she can come into your home and observe and assess, well, that's psychotic in the American understanding of freedom, but not in somebody who is of Kamala Harris's mind. Here's the interesting thing to me, because she's saying right now, she's even kind of mocking the idea that, what are we going to do? Like, come in and take your guns and blah, blah, blah. She's kind of pushing back aggressively on the idea that she would try to take your guns away from you. But she is very much so consistently on the record of being anti-Second Amendment. She doesn't understand the Second Amendment the way you and I understand the Second Amendment. But then she laughs when she's talking to
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If
And I thought
somebody
that was
breaks in
powerful.
my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
my staff will deal with that later.
You know, the audacity to have the approach on guns and gun ownership in the United States of America that Kamala Harris has in action, put into play, the way she's talked about it, the way she has legislated, the way she has represented her people in her very anti-Second Amendment positions, for her to casually laugh while she says, in her voice that makes her sound like she's been drinking. I don't think there's like a whole thing out there about Kamala Harris drinking too much. I don't buy into that at all, that is an issue that she has. I have no understanding, no reason to think other than when she goes, you come in the house, you're getting shot. She's saying she's trying to connect. She's trying to relate to Americans by saying, listen, I'm going to protect my home. She also has the Secret Service protecting her everywhere she goes right now. So if you do come into the Vice President of the United States house, you are going to get shot by armed guards, people who do have guns and know how to use them very well. I don't have that to protect my family. I don't think that you as a listener have that to protect your family. But she still wants to be very aggressive in the policing of what Second Amendment rights you are able to exercise while she is surrounded by security 24/7, and then she's going to casually say that you're going to get shot. Why is nobody asking her what gun she has, what kind of munition she has, what kind of, if she's trains with it, does she operate? Could she pick it up right now? Could she clean that gun? Does she know anything about that gun? Because she's surrounded by guns that are there on her behalf, but it's funny to her. And then she goes into like, my staff will have to clean that up. I in no way, shape, or form think that wasn't intentional and planned. I think her slipping that out there and being, when she says something like that, but then says my staff will have to deal with that later, she is once again playing both sides of that coin. Because the staff can come out and be like, what she meant was, and then they can say something that appeases the people who are, air quotes, offended by it. You're in America, get used to it. The idea that people have guns in their homes to protect themselves. She gets to play both sides of the aisle. Politics, politics, politics. Except for the fact that nobody believes her. She's on both sides of the coin on every issue. I really don't think that this Oprah thing did her any good. And every time she does go in front of a camera or microphone, which is what people said was going to happen, she exposes herself as completely vapid.
Yeah, she's in a tough spot because she's not a good communicator, that she has to either go out and try to communicate and basically stick to a script. So if this was part of a script or not, don't know. But if she sticks to that script, she's a little safer. But also, everybody knows what she's doing. So it's, that's the trouble with being the candidate for president on the left, having everybody prop you up and then still not being very good at it, is you find yourself in this catch-22.
Her policy is that she's not Trump.
That's it.
And she's not supposed to do or say anything to offend any side of any other issue as she counts down tick, 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 tick on the clock before the election gets here. She's supposed to successfully remain not Trump. And Donald Trump is working his tail off across the country, in the swing states, in front of cameras, in front of microphones, friendly and adversarial of people who are asking him questions, to answer the questions, regardless of whether or not the person who's sitting on the opposite side of that interview is going to like what they have to say. Donald Trump is literally doing the work to get elected, to represent the American people. Kamala Harris is trying to get elected to stop Donald Trump. And when I think about it that way, when I think about Kamala Harris's number one mission is not to be the best advocate for the American people, not to be the best advocate for America on the world stage. When I understand with great clarity that Kamala Harris's goal is to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't get in office, I have to ask myself, what is so scary should he get back into office? What is so frightening? Because I don't see it, because my pocketbook was in a much better shape when Donald Trump was the president of the United States. This country was in much better shape when Donald Trump was the president of the United States. The world stage was in much better shape. The southern border was in much better shape. Freedom was in much better shape when Donald Trump was the president of the United States. Which part of all of that is scary to Kamala Harris and the people who support her? I'd like the details, because when you come at me with saying he's a threat to democracy, that's baloney sausage. Plain and simple. There's nothing else to it. You can't say anything after that. You say that he's a threat to democracy. First of all, it's a republic. Second of all, when you say that and you can't back it up with anything else without talking about him being an insurrectionist, which he's never been charged for being an insurrectionist. He's not an insurrectionist. There are no details, there are no facts, there are no pieces of evidence that can be provided to the American people who might be on the fence as to whether or not they're going to show up to vote for the president of the United States. There's no piece of evidence that you can give me that says that Kamala Harris would be better for the American people, for freedom, for safety and security and liberty than Donald Trump. Not a single piece of evidence. And they don't even try. It's enough to say that he's a threat to democracy. And you're just hoping that the American people are so stupid that they don't do their own research. Their own research is at the grocery store. Their own research is at the gas pump. Their own research is trying to pay a 7.5%, 8% mortgage rate that you have to lower because you've got red lights flashing right before the election happens to get things down because you can't get the economy under control the way you wanted to. The American people are not as stupid as you need them to be. I continue to say that. You want to do Be or Not to Be when we come back?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know how, but somehow we're 9 people away from 9,000 subscribers.
9 people?
Yes.
We've come a long way. Just in this hour.
The Mayo Clinic ad is 9 YouTube subscribers away from happening in the 2 o'clock hour.
I think it'll happen.
I haven't heard it. So if it's a disaster, it's on Brad, because he's heard it.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan talking about interest rates. Good grief, you need to call Stewie right now. You need to text him if you can't call him and ask him about your mortgage and how it can be perfected for you. As interest rates are lowered at the Fed, you know that naturally will have its effect on mortgage rates downstream. And Stewie's the guy who helps walk you through, navigate what is taking place right now to ensure that your mortgage rate is the best it can be. If you want to contact him directly on his cell phone through a phone call or a text, you reach out to him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. When you reach out to him, ask him about the Bagel Loan, because if you go through a refinance right now with the Bagel Loan, which is only at Stewart's American Mortgage, and if you close that, zero closing costs. Doesn't cost you anything to secure that lower rate. You can even potentially shave years off the length of your loan. You can take your information, take it to Stewie, and he will help put you in the best financial position for your future. You can trust him. I've done a 2-time Bagel Loan refinance with him, and I'm very glad that I did. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Here on Friday, September 20th, who has the momentum going into November 5th? That's the question we have for you. Is it Kamala Harris? Is it Donald Trump? Let us know what you think. It's the YouTube live chat poll of the day. 143. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra will be at Enterprise Center December 18th. Get the best seats by getting your tickets in September for this Christmas season. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, December 18th, 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show.
I had a dream, we were sipping whiskey neat, highest floor of the Bowery, and I was high enough. Somewhere along the lines, we stopped seeing eye to eye. You were staying out all night, and I had enough. No, I don't wanna know where you've been or where you're going, but I know I won't be home, and you'll be on your own. Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? Who's gonna rock you when the sun won't let you sleep? Who's waking up to drive you home when you're drunk and all alone? Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning?
Wiggins! Oh!
Wiggins!
Wait for it.
The bee or not the bee.
There it is. It's that time.
Love it.
An hour late.
Yes, it is.
It was that time.
It is the Bee or Not the Bee on Mountain Time, and this is a series of stories, if you've never heard us do this before, which are either from the Babylon Bee, which would make them satire and fake news, or they are real headlines. But they're kind of tricky, so I read them, I let you kind of judge, I tell you whether they're real or they're the Bee. First one, London unveils transgender prostitute monument.
Oh, that's a toughie. I think that sounds real.
I was going to say it's London. I mean, other places maybe not, but London, I'm going real. I'm going real.
You are correct. This is real. The new sculpture features 726 plaster castings of actual transgender and non-binary prostitutes.
It is time that they start to get some attention.
We needed a statue. Why a monument of transgender prostitute faces made to look like an Aztec? Why? Well, a monument of transgender prostitute faces made to look like an Aztec skull rack is the reason. The platform the same spot used to house statues of Baptist preacher John Chilembwe and British missionary John Chorley.
Oh, not him.
Who shared the gospel with the people of Malawi. But now that has been taken away in favor of the transgender prostitute monument.
Okay,
so that one was real. Next one. Media assures Americans the real threat is the side that keeps getting shot at.
Oh, that's got to be the B.
That's the B.
That is the B. Quote, the people getting shot at and murdered, they are the real threats, explains CNN correspondent Dana Bash. Every time you see another attempt to kill a Republican, remember that Democrats are the party of peace and tolerance. The media also condemned Republicans for using such harsh rhetoric and causing people to try to murder them. Quote, we hereby call on the people getting shot at to stop being mean, Bash went on to say.
Yeah, that is true.
It's kind of a slice of life that is true, but is from the Babylon Bee. Next one. Kamala safe and in stable condition after attempted interview.
Turn that back up.
There you go. The story here, a lot of times the headline's the funny part and the story's not. This story's great.
Let's have it.
The incident took place late yesterday afternoon during a campaign stop in Pennsylvania when a rogue reporter reportedly approached the vice president and fired off several questions before being tackled to the ground and subdued by Secret Service agents. Harris was quickly evacuated from the area and taken to a secure location. Quote, thankfully, Vice President Harris is safe and in stable condition, a campaign spokesperson said. We all feared the worst when that crazed person emerged from the crowd and attempted to interview the sitting U.S. Vice President right there in broad daylight. Someone must be looking out for her, though, because she avoided suffering any damage in the incident.
Oh, man.
Unquote.
The B.
It
well
was
done,
the B.
the B.
Yeah, you guessed right. All right, cast of Hamilton adds updated song about 2024 election.
The B.
I'm going to say it's real.
The B.
You say it's the B?
Yeah.
This is, in fact, a real story.
Oh, no, shush.
Yeah, in fact,
Fly
I
to the
pulled
bumblebee.
a little clip of the song here just in case you'd like to hear it.
Okay.
America decided by ladies who vote. Woo! You could say it's common sense we're voting for. In 2020, women cast 10 million more. You say the loss is destructive, I say it's reproductive. So let my message be instructive.
Right there.
Man, I think I might have changed my mind now.
Yeah, I want to go see the new Hamilton. That's not actually in the show, but it's
Just
the
the
cast of Hamilton doing a 2024 election song.
I was going to say, nothing says Alexander Hamilton like commentary on the 2024 election.
Yeah, isn't that great? You know, some of the song is fun, but it's so partisan.
Oh, it's
really?
Yeah, they're talented. Great
They're very
writers.
talented.
Great singers. Bad politics.
So I did find one piece of actual policy there. It is reproductive. That's what they focused on in that clip. Next one. Man accidentally stabs himself to death trying to separate two frozen burgers.
What? He stabs himself?
Man accidentally stabs himself to death trying to separate two frozen burgers.
I guess feel like stabbing yourself to death kind of feels like it's a more than one time event. And I could see how if you stabbed yourself because you were trying to get them apart.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like after the first time you'd stop trying to do that.
I like your analysis.
I'm going to say B.
You're going to say B.
Yeah, just because the last one wasn't.
Yeah, I think it's the B as well.
This is a real story.
No,
this is a
that's
real story. I
sad.
kid you not. Yeah, Detective Chief Inspector Jonathan Reese said in court, because they found this guy dead, but they had to examine, like, how did this happen? He said in court, the bottom drawer of the freezer had been left open when they found the scene and pulled forward in a position to access the food items. On the work surface in the kitchen adjacent to the fridge freezer were two uncooked burgers, which had since thawed, so they didn't know. and a knife and a tea towel. The wound to the abdomen would have been approximately the height of the work surface.
Oh, man.
He says, my hypothesis at that stage was that Mr. Griffiths was attempting to separate the frozen burgers using a knife. Concerns had been raised about Mr. Griffiths' welfare after he had not been seen for more than a week, and they went into the house and found him, and that's what they determined.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't like that.
Yeah, but that's something that we've all tried to do is separate burgers, and you could see that happening. You really could. Next story. Democrats concerned California wildfires may burn up their stock of pre-filled Kamala Harris ballots.
The B.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's the B?
I was hoping the last one was. I just hope this one is.
If I said real, would you be like, yeah, okay, well, that's 2024?
I suppose. Is it the B?
It is the B.
All right, let's hear it.
According to Governor Gavin Newsom, the fires could present an existential threat to election security in California if they get too close to the stacks of already filled out Kamala Harris election ballots. Unfortunately, Newsom has been so preoccupied with the pressing concerns of making sure the election remains safe and secure that he has entirely neglected to make sure that native Californians are evacuated from the line of danger. He's just trying to make sure the election's safe, you guys. All right, I only got a couple left here. Study finds that polls are only accurate when your candidate is ahead.
Oh, that's for sure the B and accurate at the same time. I wrote this.
Yeah, I should have done this yesterday based on our poll about polls. The general public was thrilled to learn the study's results. Quote, I knew it, shouted citizen Adma Kununen. I always figured those polls showing the person I don't like in the lead were totally rigged. Fortunately, a couple of weeks later, the polls showed my candidate took the lead, which meant the polls were completely correct and trustworthy.
Yep.
I just wish they
Ryan,
would be...
they wrote an article about you.
I went ahead and did this at my own expense. I just wish they would be legitimate and correct all the time by showing my candidate in front. All right, the last one. Annie, you know what I did? I did something a little weird here.
This is shocking.
I brought one back that I've done before. Now, when I read it, you may recognize it, but I'm still
Is this from Not the B because it wasn't a real story or what?
Well, I'll just tell you, it's one I've read before.
Okay.
Democrats hold Hotties for Harris party complete with Plan B abortion pills.
That happened.
This is a real story. You know the reason I left this in my little file there is because every time, it's been like 4 weeks since I read this because it was right at the DNC.
It's the DNC, yeah.
Every time I read this story, I almost can't believe that this happened. I'm just going to list the things again because we read it one time. If you didn't hear that, you wouldn't believe that this was real. But Democrats held a Hotties for Harris after party last evening. This is during the DNC, featuring pregnancy tests and UTI medication. Every sentence gets worse. There was an abortion access skee ball game, abortion pills in gumball machines, also featured a prize wheel with blindfolds, lube, and condoms that said F Project 2025 on them as prizes. The Hotties for Harris
totally mentally stable.
Isn't this crazy?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're in a completely normal, healthy state of mind when you're celebrating things like this.
This is a party with like well-to-do, very popular people. This is not like just some random thing. This is at the DNC.
I'm glad you brought this up. Are we following the Diddy stuff? I'm following
I don't know,
it.
a little bit, yes. It's almost like you can't avoid it.
A little bit, yes, or a lot?
A little bit, yeah. Personally, I'm just kind of following it.
No, I'm 100% interested. I think we're about to reshape what we understand entertainment to be.
I hope you're right.
Well, it's appalling.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that has been reported, and yesterday they put him on suicide watch, which a lot of people are reminding you that I think what it was Epstein on suicide watch for like 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
They better not cover up this stuff. But I don't know why they wouldn't. They did for Epstein. But I mean, like, the depravity that exists in the world, we don't think it if we're not in it every day, but you don't understand this. The DNC celebrating freedom the way they choose to celebrate freedom in that context with that type of stuff. What did you say that had Project 2025 on it?
F Project 2025 on a prize wheel, abortion access skee ball games.
Not healthy. This is not a mentally healthy state of mind.
Mm-mm.
This is not an independent. I want to live my life the way I want to live my life, apart from the government. That's not what this is. That right there is like a worship of a political party that you are expecting to save you from the great Satan that is Donald Trump. That's not healthy.
Abortion pills and gumball machines. There was so much in this thing.
It's disgusting. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, it's 2 o'clock already. How's it even possible?
Okay.
We need your Ask Us Anything questions in the Annie Fry YouTube channel. And we have 8,996 people subscribed right now. We need 4 to hear the mail problem commercial by Brian Ricketts. We'll be right back.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. With Ramp, you get full visibility into your company's spending and control who spends what with each vendor. Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts instantly to save your team valuable time. Ramp automates data entry and routine tasks with automated approvals, expense categorization and bill payments, time-consuming tasks. Which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can unlock the equity from your current home and stay in it while you find your next home or while your new home's being built? Mark Cox here for my friend Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. She can do that for you. Here's a problem many home sellers find themselves in. I want to sell my home, but where will I move? Plus, I need the funds for my current home to go purchase our next home. Gloria understands this. That's why she created her Sell and Stay program, which allows you to sell your home, get the cash, and stay in the home for up to 12 months. I love Gloria Liu because she thinks of every dilemma a home seller could go through and provides a guaranteed solution. If you need the cash from your current home to buy your next home, here's my recommendation. Call the only agent I trust, Gloria Liu, and ask her about her Sell and Stay program, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Who's the Secret Service out with a report detailing the law enforcement failures that led up to the July 13th near assassination of former President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Acting Director Ronald Rowe claims they also made changes.
Since July 13th, we have been securing successfully outdoor events. And what you're seeing is an increased use of assets, increased use of ballistic glass. So we certainly make sure that when they are out there at an outdoor venue, that we are using our protective methodologies to create that safe environment.
The report blaming communication issues between the Secret Service and local law enforcement agencies. Vice President Kamala Harris campaigning in swing states of Georgia and Wisconsin today. Earlier, she joined media mogul Oprah Winfrey in battleground Michigan for a live stream event. Fox's Jackie Heinrich.
Harris struggled to answer many of the same questions that she has been posed, the same questions that voters have about her, their top issue, like what she would do on the economy.
On that point about the Affordable Care Act, all based on concepts of a plan. Concepts. Their Project 2025 agenda would pull our nation backward.
Obviously, President Trump has distanced himself from Project 2025 many times. Even the White House from the podium acknowledged that they can't pin Project 2025 on Trump. And in their language, when they talk about it, they say it's embraced by Republicans.
And with the election just 6 weeks away, polling does show the economy remains the #1 issue for voters. A new Associated Press NORC survey reports 4 in 10 say Trump would do a better job on the economy, while 4 in 10 say their money is on the vice president. Well, about 1 in 10 say they don't trust either. Well, about 1 in 10 say they trust both candidates equally. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Still a summer feel to our Friday afternoon. Partly sunny skies, 92 for the high today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 80s again for evening plans. We're getting used to that. 72 for the warm overnight low. Saturday, partly sunny. Showers moving in late Saturday night after midnight. And Sunday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Expect scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder Sunday, and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, Charles Payne here at one of the exciting Money Show events where I'm presenting the keynote, broadcasting my live TV show, and best of all, giving away free copies of my newest book, Unbreakable Investor. It's a $29.95 value, but if you act now, I'll give you one too.
For your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505. Text CASH to 505-505.
I'm handing you my investing playbook, 348 pages on how I personally invest to target the biggest returns while mitigating risk. It's how I've been with the market so I never break. Guidance so crucial for today's investors. I'm covering the cost of the book and giving you a copy for free.
To get your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text the word CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505 while supplies last. Text CASH to 505-505 right now.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, October 1st at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Thomas and Bob with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned how this coming election can affect the stock market and your retirement? Would you like to have a personalized structured income plan that shows you the monthly income you can receive and how to never outlive it?
Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any more losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss host the last event of the year.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, October 1st at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardie siding experts. Picture this: durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
Save money on your next oil change with O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get a $10 gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $35.95. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wednesday, September 25th, join the Annie Fry Show in St. Charles as we support Princess Storm's annual diaper drive. You can buy diapers at Ruler Foods to donate right there on the spot, or bring your own. Come say hi. This Wednesday, September 25th.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
Like, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, that can only mean one thing. It's about that time on a Tuesday afternoon. It's 2 o'clock on Friday.
Don't you dare. Half of St. Louis just had a conniption.
Tuesday?
No. No, I had a terrible Tuesday. That's gone.
This show feels so long. Feels like it's gone through the weekend
it's
into
going
Tuesday.
Backwards.
We even went past Monday. Get your Ask Us Anything questions in on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. If you've ever wanted to ask us anything, now is the time. You can leave the comment in the YouTube live broadcast in the live chat there. And you can also vote today on the YouTube poll, and it is, which candidate has momentum, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Do you have a strong feeling about this one, Ryan?
No, it's been tough for me to even answer this. I would say right now it would be Kamala, simply because momentum is a perceived thing, and the media apparatus that exists is trying very hard to push that she has momentum. I think they've done a decent job of creating that illusion in a lot of ways. And so I'm still going to say that Kamala does.
What do you think, Brad?
I think it's Donald Trump. I think what we're seeing from the Harris administration is flailing, and anything that is real or what they're trying to make seem real is media manufactured. So, Ryan, you said it's perception. I don't look at that, and I don't see people perceiving that as that. I think that it's like a big, loud, banging gong over here saying, Kamala, Kamala, Kamala. But nobody looks and listens to what that says and goes, yeah, she's got it going on. I think it's Donald Trump.
I think the more that you see that the left-wing media is trying to push her, the more I don't believe she has the momentum. They work harder when the work needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that the media is going to get credit for a certain percentage of votes just for keeping up the hype. But Donald Trump has something real and tangible. Did you see the inside? Did you see any videos from the inside of that New York rally?
Yeah.
Yes.
Those people were rocking.
Yes.
And it was jam-packed full of people. I don't think that Kamala Harris can do that without manufacturing attendance.
Without like a special guest or something like that?
Without bringing people in that are committed to the cause. Regularly, there's evidence that she has to bus people into her events. I mean, maybe in New York she could do it, but I don't think she could go into a deep red state. I mean, New York. If you pick a deep red state and put Kamala Harris in there as Kamala Harris, and you need to put, what did he say, 16,000 people? Caroline Leavitt said yesterday, 16,000 people. I think they said they had like 60,000 people or something that registered for the event, something much larger than what they could actually let in. I don't think that Kamala Harris can achieve that.
Yeah, and if she could, she would be doing it. So that's how you know if she's not holding rallies, it's because she can't fill that out. That everything that they do is based on perception. I'm not saying that nothing Donald Trump does. Donald Trump loves the perception of a big crowd. But at the same time, he can hold a big crowd. So he's doing it because it looks good. Kamala Harris isn't doing it because it would look bad.
I can't remember where it was that they were saying that people leave Donald Trump rallies early. It was like a dig at him.
It was the debate.
Was it?
Yeah, she said it at the debate because everybody went, "Oh no, don't take debate."
That was such a line in the water for Donald Trump.
Yeah, it was.
And he takes it, and I don't know why anybody's surprised by it, or even at this point disappointed in it. Haven't you ever in a real human to human level relationship with somebody? Haven't you ever just loved somebody who just is a certain kind of way?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Do you spend your whole time trying to change those facets about their life because it doesn't fit what you want them to be? I mean, the idea that you're going to send somebody to be a representative of you in government, if there's something unsavory about somebody and they're representing you, does that mean that you should try to change them to be the way you want them to be? Because then if they're that malleable, I don't really trust it. I mean, that's all Kamala Harris is. Who does she need to be right now in this minute? And then she does her best, which is not great.
Yeah, that's where the phrase "pick your battles" comes from, because everybody knows somebody like that in their lives, and you go, well, I can try to change. You don't want to just like completely give up on somebody, but to completely change them, you can't do that either. So you kind of got to go, well, let's just work on this little thing here.
Yeah.
If you love them, you're going to be around them.
All right, let's get to the next question.
Next question.
Question.
It's a legitimate question.
Next question.
Next question, please.
Next question on the Annie Fry Show.
There's a lot of pressure now.
You like it?
This is way better than the last one.
Darn right it is.
Good
It only
job.
takes me 3 weeks to get it right.
Oh. Little revision here and there.
Yeah, a little tweak.
Why don't you take the honor since you have made the very, very high expectations from that intro? This seems like we should be throwing some knowledge down.
Absolutely. All right. Well, here's my first question for you.
Well, before we do that, just because I can't help myself, one of the questions that goes with this is if you had to have animal legs, which animal's legs would you choose? Which I think is really funny.
That's
Because
great
Ryan's question that he's going to ask is a good question. But
Can I answer that one first?
I think you should if you have one.
Well, do you each have one or no?
No, I have to
still
think
want
about
to think
that.
about it?
It's a really important commitment.
Sasquatch.
Yeah. Sasquatch legs are pretty good.
Yeah. Hairy,
Sneaky.
powerful, somewhat human.
Probably human. That's not even fair. Let's go to your question.
Okay. You got to answer the other one, though, at some point.
I will.
In this segment. Has there ever been a politician who you had high hopes for or you were optimistic about who ended up letting you down?
Do you have one off the top of your head?
I do.
Who?
I voted for Mitt Romney in 2012. 2012? Did I say that right?
No. That's a little bit in the future.
Yeah, that's way in the
fact,
future.
Probably won't even exist.
Okay.
Jesus
so
is coming back before that.
I voted for Mitt Romney.
2022.
And I guess I had to kind of couch that
It is
because
Tuesday.
Ryan's a big proponent of early voting.
Yeah. And immortality.
It's like, well, if I vote now, then it'll count. Then
I'll give you my ballot. You can file that one too in 2012.
Yeah, a few thousand years in the future, I'm voting for the disembodied head of Mitt Romney, which is still alive.
Do you regret that vote?
I don't regret it
I don't
because
regret my
at the
vote for Mitt Romney.
time that was the better of the two choices, which is what we always say. It's a binary choice. But I did have higher hopes that he would be more of a conservative and more advancing the cause of conservative principles. And he had a lot of policies even when he was running that I didn't care for that much.
Brad, do you have one off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, it's along those lines. It's John McCain. I liked John McCain. I thought he would have been a good president. And then whenever he got into that petty fight with Donald Trump, and then he thought, you know what, I'll show you.
Was it petty because of John McCain or petty because of Donald Trump?
Because of Trump, but he could have been the bigger person and done what was right for the American people, but he let his ego get in the way, and he was the deciding vote on not eliminating Obamacare. and my medical bills have been awful. Absolutely awful. His ego cost me money and made my life harder, and that's disappointing to me.
Say the question again, just so I make sure I answer it correctly.
Has there ever been a politician that you had either high hopes for or at least were optimistic about who ended up disappointing you?
I will 100% say Adam Kinzinger.
Ooh, that's a good one.
He was a very, and I say this as an Illinoisan, I am looking for a viable, conservative politician from Illinois that has broad appeal. And I thought Adam Kinzinger would be that person. Adam Kinzinger has been on this show before he decided to stop being Republican. And I'm hunting down, trying to find a Republican who can speak to all of the people of Illinois. There's a movement out there to annex or to cut off Chicago and make it something. That's not going to happen. And Illinois is a stronger state with Chicago, but we have to be able to pull Chicago and the rest of the state together. And Adam Kinzinger, what a fall from grace that he was for the Republican Party, for the conservative movement, and for the state of Illinois. And, I mean, honestly, still, he would be better than J.B. Pritzker as the governor of the state. That's how bad it is.
Same point. It's always a binary choice. And if it was him versus Pritzker, I think the answer's obvious.
All right, next question.
All right. My question is if the Annie Fry Show was a presidential administration...
Oh, my gosh. Where is this going?
Okay. Let's take president, vice president off the board.
Uh-huh.
What role would each person in the room serve? So, Ryan, you get to pick who serves where. I pick who serves where. Annie, you pick who serves where in this administration.
Do you have ideas first since you asked the question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Ryan would be our press secretary.
Why? What?
I can see that.
No offense. Sorry.
I can see that.
Sorry.
Because nobody could be worse than KJP.
That's the standard?
Boy, that's a terrible... Boy, you guys really took a dump on me, didn't you?
No! I don't know.
Okay.
Not why.
Okay, well, as long as it's no, then I feel okay.
I don't want Ryan to go explain things to people. I want Ryan to be a part of bringing people into the... I need him to help persuade.
So where would you put him then?
I haven't decided yet. But I don't think you want him to be the voice of said administration. Do you think you'd be good at that? Is that your... Where would you put yourself?
I would put myself as Secretary of Transportation because apparently you don't have to do anything.
You want some paternity leave?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how to get around.
I'm kind of loose is what you're saying.
No. Well, with your...
Sexually.
What?
Yeah, you're right. Annie, you are absolutely right. Not press secretary. I take that back.
I was just trying to make a point.
I take it back.
Listen, I got a ton of discipline. I just don't use it.
I was going to say, where do you put it? Oh, you have my pen. I need my pen.
What are you doing?
I've been looking for my pen for 5 minutes.
Around?
I've given this back to you twice.
Well, you weren't looking at me twice.
I got thrown at...
Ryan saw me trying to get your attention multiple... I was like, landing the plane over here.
I know now. Always look at Annie. Or you're going to get a pen in the eye.
If you're looking down, it's going to hit me in the top of the head.
I try to hit the table in front, but these microphones are so hot right now that I think it was on the air when it landed.
Okay, I've got an answer to this question.
Okay, let's hear it.
Annie is the press secretary. She would be really good at that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brad, you're the head of the ATF.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Okay.
I think you'd be awesome at that.
I could handle that.
And I would like to stick as the transportation.
I think we could do
whatever.
That.
My job as ATF president, first thing would be let me eliminate this branch altogether.
Yeah.
How do I make this go away? There's nothing that it does that couldn't be handled at the state or local level.
You could be Secretary of Education and do the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, once I'm done with the ATF, put me over there.
Yeah, he's multifaceted.
Like that meme of the Grim Reaper going into different government agencies.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Elon Musk really would be a part of this next administration for Trump?
I think he'd be an advisor. If I were him, I wouldn't make that big of a commitment. He doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The Secretaries of Agriculture, Commerce, Defense, Education, Energy, Health and Human Services, Homeland Security, Housing and Urban Development, Interior, Labor. I'd put you in charge of the Secretary of the Interior. That's what you'd be.
Thanks. I just kind of roam around the interior, making sure everybody's cool.
I'd explain to you more about what it means first.
Sounds like a pretty sweet gig to me.
And then, I mean, doesn't Interior include like national parks and all that stuff?
Yeah, road trip.
You'd be good at that.
Yeah, check out this next park. Check out a little park near me.
You know,
check
it's
out a big
not
park.
like Six Flags and
Well, not under the
Silver
current
Dollar
administration.
City, but it could be.
It would be.
Yeah. ATF would be a good one for Brad. I don't think there's a problem with that. All right, did we all answer them? Did you say me? Or
I didn't say you, but press secretary would be good. But I also think chief of staff would be good for you.
She's so good at arguing, though. She's so good at making an argument and saying, like shaping it, that she'd be really good. I legitimately think she'd be good at that actual job.
She's also good at casting a vision and helping people execute that vision.
No, I don't agree with that.
So I think she would be very good as the chief of staff.
I don't agree with that. All right, if you've got more questions, we've got a lot of listener ones in the bank right now. We want yours. Come to the Any Fry YouTube channel and leave your question. We'll do a little more next question when we come back. I said before we only needed 2 subscribers on the Any Fry YouTube channel to get to 9,000, and 5 of you have unsubscribed. So
now 7.
Nobody wants to hear Ryan Wiggins's. What again? The commercial is for
the Mail Clinic. MAIL.
In case you have problems.
Ballot problems, and you don't trust the power of your election.
I understand why people are unsubscribing right now.
Just 7.
You may never know. We just need 7 subscribers.
I want to play this thing.
Not to leave and to add. We'll be right back.
Everywhere we go, music for the people, making music for the people. Light shine bright everywhere we go, music for the people to illuminate the soul. Light shine bright everywhere we go, music for the people, Jesus, music for the people.
Well, I want to talk to you about Jen Teskey. We had Tammy Owens of RE/MAX Alliance in here earlier, and Jen Teskey works with RE/MAX Alliance. Wonderful people, top to bottom. When you are looking to buy or sell a home in Illinois, I want you to consider reaching out to Jen Teskey, 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. Experts at the Illinois side of the river, whether you are looking to compete as a seller in this market and position your home for a top sale, you know who to call, Jen Teskey at RE/MAX Alliance, 618-541-1010. Or if you've been thinking about listing your home, a lot of people are waiting on those interest rates to come down because they want to, get a new home that's going to have a new mortgage and not have a killer interest rate. Maybe you're thinking about getting in the market right now and you want some more information. That's where it starts, and you can make a phone call to Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance to get the process going. 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. You can find her online at jenteskeyhomes.com.
It's not just about watching the game, it's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valeni, and on Cash the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it, it's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Cash the Ticket, follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Mark Cox here. Did you know the Rockwood School District is a great place to work? They're currently hiring school bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and custodial staff. They have openings in Adventure Club, which is before and after school care. They offer competitive pay, flexible work hours, and a rewarding work environment. Discover the Rockwood Advantage and join an amazing team. Go to rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs.
If you've been dragging your feet waiting for the perfect opportunity to consolidate your debt, start an overdue home remodel, refinance to a shorter term, or get rid of that dreaded PMI, then now is the time to give me, Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, a call at 314-336-6050. Interest rates have come down and home values are up. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you will speak to me. Whether you are purchasing your first home, your dream home, or needing to refinance your current home, call a local lender. Call Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage. I will give you straightforward answers and develop a plan that fits your goals. My direct number is 314-336-6050. 314-336-6050. or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage, LLC, 224143, NMLS 250353.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
You're mobile. We're with you on the radio or on the Odyssey app. Download it and take 97.1 with you, even outside the listening area.
Your home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
Mr. Worldwide to infinity. You know the roof on fire. We gon' boogie, oogie, oogie, jiggle, wiggle, and dance like the roof on fire. We go drink drinks and take shots until we fall out like the roof on fire. Now, baby, get my booty naked, take off all your clothes.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. We are doing a little next question right now, so let's get that. Do we have the bet, or do we have to listen to his thing again? Do we?
Really, you can do
microphone.
You can do whatever you want. But I do have the bed. See, okay, all right.
That's good.
Made the right decision.
That's good.
Yeah.
For once. All right, so it's really good. I'm really impressed.
It's good for once.
Yeah. We are 7 subscribers. We added some. We've lost some. Hey, keep coming.
It's like
keep
people
going.
are having a little game with themselves with the subscription button.
Mom of Grace. Her question is, what's your favorite thing to do to unwind after a crazy news day? Ryan?
I like to put on...
Keep it PG, please. Thank you.
Okay, fine. I'll change my answer then.
Okay,
I like to put on a Perry Como record. And have a pudding.
Whatever.
A pudding cup.
Like a snack pack?
Yeah, like a snack pack, but I prefer Swiss Miss.
Swiss Miss, okay.
I'm going to
I need
ask you
whatever.
if you're being serious. And I know the possibility is that you are. What do you do to relax?
The truth is, if I'm going to go off of PG and go up to PG-13,
okay,
I like to put on some Pink Floyd records.
And eat pudding?
And then have pudding.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Pink
Floyd and pudding. I'm going to make a separate point.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to make a separate point. People always think that pudding is like some sort of stupid dessert, that nobody likes it, and it would be stupid if you brought it to a potluck or a party. But that's not true.
Do you bring it to a potluck or a party to share?
That's
or
not
do you just bring it for yourself?
You bring a
Because that might be where the stupid... Why has he got pudding for himself?
You bring a big bowl of pudding. You're not bringing the individual cups. You bring a big bowl, and that is a fantastic dessert. People look at you like you're stupid when you do it, though. But it's you're not stupid. You're smart because pudding's delicious and everybody loves it.
Pudding of choice?
Swiss Miss.
What flavor?
Oh, flavor.
I love that you have a brand.
It's vanilla, first of all. And you know what, though? A good butterscotch can really get me in the heart.
Tapioca?
Tapioca's fine. I'll eat it.
Yeah, and you're discerning palate.
Banana, chocolate, I don't know. I don't love those as much.
Banana pudding.
Yeah. Tapioca's my pudding of choice at a buffet.
Edley's Barbecue in Edwardsville has great banana pudding. Just a reminder.
A little different here, but bread pudding.
Delicious.
Get a good bread pudding. It is fantastic. There's a little place in Pierron, Illinois called the Wooden Tie.
What's your favorite thing to do to unwind after a crazy news day?
So I've got 2 things that I usually turn to. One of them is playing video games with my friends. I'm not like a by myself gamer, but if my buddies are online, it's fun to jump on because then I can just take my brain and fully focus it on something else. If they are not online or they are not going to be online, the other thing that I do is I like to go to the gym and either lift weights or walk on the Stairmaster or whatever, because it gives my mind someplace else to go. And I don't have to sit and listen to whatever the news is or anything like that. I can just check out from there and check into whatever it is that I'm doing at that particular moment.
I do stuff with my kids. I just decide to be fully present with my kids, and that might mean being silly and screwing around or playing sports or watching their sports or something, but just being a fully present mom. Fully. It's not always easy, but That really reshifts my focus in the right direction. Next question, Brad, you have one?
Yeah, my next question was, if you could remove any one thing from the face of the earth for the good of humanity, what would it be?
Gum.
Gum?
Gum. Bye. Peace.
Huh. Okay.
Super easy.
Gum.
That is the first time I've asked a question that
Gum.
Annie was like, bang, I got one.
Man, I'm prepared.
She usually goes, what's yours?
To be given that power and to make that happen. Goodbye, chewing gum.
All right, Ryan, you're going to Thanos snap one thing for the good of humanity.
Brad, the clear answer is sin.
You're not God.
I can do anything I want in this scenario.
No, you can't. Not that.
Okay, fine. Perms.
But by the way, perms. You remove sin, you remove gum. Perms?
I don't like them.
Why?
I don't like them.
I didn't like them when I was young, when they were popular among old ladies. I
you
don't like
have
them
one?
now
Your
when they're
mom made
popular
you get
among
one?
Gen Z.
Did you ever have a perm?
No. I did not ever have a perm.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. Maybe 1994.
Maybe you could bring in a picture.
Maybe I burned them all. I had short, curly hair.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Didn't like them then.
Is
Don't
that
like them
really- is
now
that
that
really your
Patrick
answer?
Mahomes has made them popular again.
Is that really your answer?
Yeah. I want to take away the sin of the world.
That is.
It's already been done, Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
You heard it here
All right.
first.
You got me.
Ryan,
You got me.
Ryan wants to be Jesus.
No, I don't want to take it. I just want it to be taken. And I guess technically it has been.
already been done.
On the cross.
So you have no other answer?
No, that's it.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with perms.
I think if I could remove anything from the world with a snap of my fingers, probably cancer. I think it would be cancer, but
that's like my answer.
There's so many other things out there.
Cancer is a better answer than perms.
No, it's not better than sin.
It's a product of sin.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would remove.
All right. Ryan, you got a question here?
If animals could talk, which would be the most annoying? That is from our YouTube live chat.
Do you have an answer to that?
If animals could talk. It wouldn't be bears. Bears would be soothing to listen to, I think. It would be... I mean, goats is the go-to.
Oh, they're awful.
Listening to goats, if they could talk.
What if goats have a really refined British accent?
They're asking you for Grey Poupon. I can't think of another animal that I would really hate to listen to. Yes, I could. A chihuahua. One of those little dogs. I don't want to listen to
They're
you.
always trying to sell you their Taco Bell.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Throwback. What about you?
I think it would be a crow.
Yeah?
I think crows have a super annoying sound, and they would be super annoying to listen to. And they're supposed to be really smart, so that'd be annoying too.
Plus, if a bunch of them got together, it'd be like a murder.
I think it'd be
Back
cats.
to you, Annie.
And it's not because of how they would sound, but I think it's what they would say. I think cats would by far be the most annoying.
Yeah, because they keep judging it by the way they would sound.
It's not content.
Cats.
It's not the quality of the sound. It's the content.
They'd be so full of themselves. Be like, shut up, cat.
Next question, Brad.
Let's see here.
You said you had two.
Yeah, I asked them both already.
Okay. How about this one? Is there something you remember from the past that quietly just went away? For example, lobster tanks in Walmart and the Epstein list.
That's great. That's great. I have an answer to this,
Yeah?
but it's 3 foods.
Okay.
The first, they're all things from my childhood. The first is Ninja Turtle pies. Back to pudding.
Ninja Turtle pies.
Yeah. So Hostess had these green pies.
There's nobody who understands the individually wrapped dessert cake more than Ryan Wiggins.
Oh, yeah. I'm a connoisseur. I love those things. They used to come with a Ninja Turtle sticker, and the pie itself was big. It was just full of vanilla pudding. There was no quality, there's no like pretending that it was fruit.
Did Ninja Turtle just sponsor it, or why
They
Ninja
were just
Turtles?
I think they had the Ninja Turtle on the package and then a sticker inside.
Mhm.
But the cake itself, the pie was green. They just colored it green for no reason. Those were fantastic. I've actually reached out to a couple of different pie companies, including JJ's, and asked them to do a pudding pie, just a pure pudding pie.
You've asked them to do a pudding pie. You've reached out. That is more work than you've put in this show.
Well, over the last couple
try
years,
to research pudding pies.
I found JJ's and one other, because Hostess had some, I think they went through bankruptcy. But there are companies doing it right now. They have responded, and they told me no. They told me no. They did it in a nice way.
Did you think they were going to tell you yes?
I thought they'd say, you know what, you are among a cacophony of people who are screaming.
He calls the pie people because he wants to hear the word cacophony.
And they all are telling us the same thing. Bring back the pudding pie, the pure vanilla pudding pie.
This is the most that pudding has ever been talked about on the radio.
Certainly in one segment.
Anything that's missing from the world that just kind of slowly disappeared?
Man, I can't think of anything right now. Jeez.
One thing I can think of is appointment television. Like, people don't eat. We grew up understanding what was on Thursday night television, TGIF, Friday night television. People would sit down to watch the news. You don't have to sit down to watch the news. You can literally consume the news 24 hours a day. And our whole lives really, in some ways, revolved around... I can't at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night or 9 o'clock because ER is on, and you just sat and watched it at the same time as everyone else. That doesn't happen anymore at all. And when you have a Thursday night where everybody watches ER or whatever the show is, you have something collective to talk about the next day. And television, I think, really created a connection in our culture that was apart from the thing we talk about now, which is, in many cases, the news.
Yeah. The only thing left like that is really big movies. But even that, it's not that not everybody was watching the same shows, but when a major movie comes out in the first month, half the population's seen it, that can still kind of do that.
Man, I just thought of one of the things that I think has quietly gone away is like kids playing outside in the neighborhood, running around the whole neighborhood. I still see it a little bit every now and then in my neighborhood, but the kids are maybe 8 years old. They're super young, so younger than they would be if they had social media or something like that. There used to be kids that ride bikes around neighborhoods and all. I remember, my mom and dad would drop up, because we lived out in the country. We'd drop us off in town. We'd take our bikes in the back of my dad's truck, throw them, and there we'd go to a friend's house, and we'd just ride around the neighborhood doing kid stuff all day.
That's not possible to bring back, though. I'm not letting my kids do it. It would be irresponsible to be like, see ya later, and just expect them to come home.
Yeah. Playing in creeks and stuff, though, you can still kind of monitor that.
Depends on where you are and which creek it is, and how many other people are around and how far they are away. Do they have a cell phone? Are you going to give your kid a cell phone so they can go play in the woods and still be connected to you?
We drop our kids off at the landfill in East St. Louis pretty often. Just play in the creek, kids. Catch us a couple fish.
Why does this one have 3 eyes?
Next question.
So, wrong mouse. What was the last thing you did because someone dared you to do it?
It was on this show.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, there's multiple things. You dare me to do stuff all the time.
I would never dare you.
I think the last thing...
Just heavy peer pressure.
...that I can remember, because it happens frequently enough that it's just like an almost weekly occurrence. But the last one was that we all decided, probably based on some sort of peer pressure, to dress up as the opposite. I was Mary Todd Lincoln.
And I was.
And you were Abraham Lincoln. And Brad was Melania Trump. And was it Hannah?
Hannah was Donald Trump.
That hair.
We probably shouldn't talk about that on the air anymore. Now that she's among the people.
Oh, that's right. That's so funny. Speaking of Y98, though, one of the voices in the Mayo Clinic ad is Brett Mega.
Well, we are now 17 YouTube subscribers.
People are just screwing with us now.
Well, we got a lot of people who subscribe to our channel because you have to subscribe in order to comment. So they create a lot of profiles. This is a weeding. This is a weeding process. This is good. This is quality over quantity, except for the fact that I don't think we're going to get to the I keep having to look at it. Mayo Clinic ad today, because we need 9,000 subscribers and we are 17 away, which is more. It's less than we started with.
Oh, yeah, there's still been a lot of forward movement.
We've made some progress, but we have in the last hour made the opposite of progress.
Just like removing their profiles.
Oh, we got one more. Let's take a quick break. If you want to hear the Mail Clinic ad in the next segment where Ryan helps you with your mail problems.
MAIL.
You need to come subscribe. We need 9,000 subscribers on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. If we have 9,000 when we start the next segment or in the next segment with enough time, 49 seconds to air it, we will do that. And from what I understand, it's a real treat. Go subscribe on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I saw, I came, I conquered. Or should I say I saw, I conquered, I came. This little chico on fire, he no lie. Well, y'all
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
That kitty little noogie in a nice little shave. I gave Susie a little pat up on the booty and she turned around and said, walk this way.
Cassens and Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Have you reached out to Cassens yet for your Jeep purchase? You might want to think about it because right now, Cassens, of course, when others can't, Cassens can. They have 0% financing available on most new Jeeps. If you have a Jeep purchase in your future, do not miss the opportunity to connect with Cassens and Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Wagoneer. They're in Glen Carbon, Illinois. You can find them on 270, get off on 159 a mile north, and you're right there at Cassens. They're on the left. And you can call them at 618-800-2712. 618-800-2712. And when you talk to the folks at Cassens, they're going to help navigate that whole situation for you. If you're looking for a particular color, particular trim of a vehicle, and they don't have it on their lot, they can help get it for you. They're going to work hard to make sure they earn your business for this car sale, but also so that you become somebody who recommends Cassens to your friends and family and become a repeat customer. They earn that business back with each transaction that they participate in. They certainly have done that for myself and for my family, and they're ready to work hard for yours. Remember, when others can't, Cassens can. 618-800-2712. Online at cassenscan.com.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
The Social Security Trust Fund could run out of money in less than 10 years. Discover why this could change when you file for your benefits on Your Retirement Professors, Sunday evening at 6 on KFTK, 97.1 FM Talk.
The YouTube live chat poll of the day has to do with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, but it's asking who has the momentum between those two candidates. It's kind of a tough question. I had a tough time answering it. I'd like to see what you have to say. It's the YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube, and it will come up along with the stream. 2:42, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
You know, I have pulled audio from KJP in the press briefing room now for 3 years, and I've heard her say some really stupid things, but maybe none more insipid than what I heard yesterday during a question with Peter Ducey. We're going to highlight that. We're off and running here right after Fox News at 3. Hang in there.
Wonder where I've been. I searched to find the love within. I came back to let you know.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We need 10 more subscribers for Ryan's mail. Was it mail? Was it enhanced?
No, not mail enhancement. We're just using what you already got there at the post office. It's MAIL Clinic. It's to help you regain your confidence in your ballot.
Oh. We need 10 subscribers.
Couldn't be clearer.
We need 9 subscribers. I stand corrected. Yeah, I don't know how in the world that persuaded somebody to go make the commitment to subscribe to the Annie Fry Show, but here we are. We got about 10 minutes in order to close that gap, but the more we talk about it, people subscribe and then they unsubscribe. So
we don't know.
We'll see. We'll see
having
how
trouble
it ends up
figuring that
going.
out.
The YouTube live chat poll for today is: which candidate has the momentum? Is it Kamala Harris or is it Donald Trump? I feel like it was a really good week for Donald Trump. I think that the Gutfeld thing was a really big deal. And when we had Tyrus on the show yesterday, asking him, like, would you bring Kamala Harris onto the show to do the same thing? And he was like, absolutely. They would be happy to do that. What would Kamala Harris, just think about how much it could humanize her to go have a conversation. I think the Gutfeld show would be the least
intimidating.
I think that they would want to make sure that it was fun. They're not going to sit there and try to drill her down on policy. They're going to want to have. I can't. I don't see how she can hang. Which is the problem.
So I think Gutfeld, he does a comedy show, of course, but he's also on the 5, and he has good points that he brings up. He's a smart guy. I think he would probably want to press her a little bit, just enough to get credit for it. But if they came to an agreement that it was going to be easy, I think they would still be in their right to do an interview with her saying, we're not going to press you on policy. And here's the thing. They should still do that because she will, you said humanize. That is one of the biggest problems she has with people is that they don't really think she's relatable.
They don't think she's their own person. It's like you have to input information before it can be downloaded to the American people.
Yes.
And when she's on talking with Oprah, and for instance, she's supposed to be talking about what it means to be American and what is America. She says, well, can we turn the volume up on this? Is that possible? So we can listen to the sound. We're working on some things. Here we go.
We
Listen
love our country. We take pride in the privilege of being American. And this is a moment where we can and must come together as Americans, understanding we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let's come together with the character that we are so proud of about who we are, which is we are an optimistic people. We are an optimistic people.
It's what I feel about her.
By character are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible. Mm-hmm. We believe in what can be. Mm-hmm. And we believe in fighting for that.
She's inspired by herself.
This is great. She needs to keep doing this, which is why I think she should go on Gutfeld, because even if they do softball interview with her, she'll do that. And nobody's going to hear that and go, that's my president right there.
She can't do anything else. She's had so many opportunities to do anything. Just drill down on pick a policy. Your policy can't be, when people ask you, like, what are you going to do? And you spend, if you've got 90 seconds to answer the question and you spend 75 of it thanking the person for being there, literally, and then at the end restating the question, and then saying you want to give away $25,000 per person, everyone's going, how are you going to do that? And she never gets asked that question. I think it's even more important that people understand right now how important it is to bank your vote, to get your ballot in as soon as possible, to vote early, and people need to know that option exists and make sure that they have a strong command on getting that ballot counted as soon as possible.
15 years ago, if you were a voter and you said publicly to your friends, you know what, I want somebody to talk policy, they'd be like, nerd. Now people in America are going, can you please talk policy, please?
Yes,
anything. You're not giving me anything.
Especially people who are like really wanting to justify a vote for Kamala Harris. Because I think that right now the question that people have in their mind is not, do I vote for Harris or do I vote for Trump? It's, do I vote for Harris or not vote for president? Do I vote for Trump or not vote at all for president.
And it's such a weird place to be in where you are in charge. You're the vice president of the United States / president, if you're talking about Joe Biden. All the policies should be things that you currently have done. You can control the narrative because you can do whatever you want. You're the president, the vice president. They've done the exact opposite, and every policy basically that you can think of falls right in the lap of the guy that used to be president. That is such a fail because they are in. I'm not saying, oh, they're in control. Look at what they've done. They had the ability to come up with the narrative out of those policies and couldn't do it.
We have over 9,000 subscribers.
I can't believe it. I thought people were just going to screw with us for the rest of the show.
You know, when you hear commercials from people who are trying to advocate for a certain type of medical treatment or medicine or something like that, they usually have a personal experience with it. So Ryan wanted to make this male problem commercial to help the people.
I don't personally have a mail problem. We completely trust our
You're good with it?
Our post office and our mail delivery person.
Yeah. No problems with the ballots.
No, we don't have any problems.
Are you prepared for this? I'm not. I don't know if
I'm
I
fully
used to
prepared.
stay up all night watching the polls. I was really into it.
Anymore? I just don't know.
I'd like to do it by myself at home, but it feels wrong.
Men, are you having electoral discomfort? Unsure whether your ballot will make it to where it needs to be by November 5th? At the Mayo Clinic, we're here to help.
My wife encouraged me to call, but I wasn't sure. I'm so glad I did.
This is a huge election, but if it doesn't seem as big as it used to, maybe it's that you're not trustworthy of the process.
So I can still vote by mail?
Yes, and you can do it early without any judgment.
I think I just did it.
I wouldn't be surprised. Get confidence back in your elections. Go to the Mayo Clinic and talk to one of our trained professionals. Or go vote in person. We don't care. Just vote.
What is wrong with you? You got our boss involved in this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, do you want to say the names of people who are in that?
I can.
Yeah,
I can.
go for it.
Yeah, it was basically people walking by as I walked into the studio because I'm like, look, in talk, you just have to just do it. You got to get it done all the time.
Yeah.
So I walked into the studio. I recorded my parts. Roy from my weekend show who
That's
comes
the voice
by.
I think I didn't
that's the
recognize
voice
as
of
much,
the
yeah.
doctor. I said, yeah, you got to do a voice too. Brett Mega happened to be sitting outside the studio.
Yeah, Y98 Morning Show.
And then our boss, Steve, walked over to see how things were going in this studio. And I said, Steve, you come in. Come in. Come on."
Instant regrets.
Yeah. Steve's amazing. He just walks in and he goes, my wife told me to call. I'm glad that I did. And he just leaves like that. Okay, did my job.
Did you tell him what you were doing?
Yeah, he could see the whole thing, but he didn't. He just looked at it. I said, your voice C. He's like, okay, read it, and he just left.
Does he know?
I don't think he's heard it.
You
No.
didn't send him the...
No. He has no idea what he was a part
Am
of.
I in trouble?
You probably will be.
Dang it.
Yeah, because ultimately the blame falls on you. You played it. Hey, but over 9,000 subscribers, that's cool.
Thanks, guys.
That's awesome.
Should we play it again?
Just in case you're just tuning in. Sure.
I'll play it again here before we wrap.
Okay.
But a lot of people, like some folks here, saying this is some of your best work.
Oh, thank you very much.
You feel good about that?
No, not so much. No.
Oh man. So when it comes to writing something like that,
Yeah.
how much time does it take for you to write something like that?
That took me about 2 minutes? I think Brad came in after Wednesday's show and was like, oh, you got to actually do that because we just talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you got to actually do it. I'm like, okay. So I just threw some lines in. I think you added one because we're looking for as many parodies as we can, many play on words as we can. Yeah, double entendres. And I think the one that made me laugh the most is because I took the line, which is, I think I did it just now.
Should we send this to the Trump team?
Oh, heck yeah.
See what we can do to... Can we just get some super cheesy B-roll to put over the top of this on a YouTube short?
I'll see what I can do.
Won't the AI system
I'll see what I can do.
Just take the first thing they offer, whatever it is, and send it out there, and we commit to that. We stick to that. Did anybody balk? Did Brett balk at any of the things?
No, it was, and I had to have guys, because I saw Hannah sitting out there. There's other some people, and I'm like, no, it's got to be guys. Sorry.
Yeah, HR.
Yes. Yeah, I couldn't have a girl read that one. But no, everybody, they're so cool. And I think Brett's been a part of a couple other things that we've done randomly, and he never questions. He's like, here's the thing. When you get into radio, one of the things you think you're going to be doing is a lot of goofy comedy. And you get into the grind of it, you're just really just going day by day. Then when somebody asks you, hey, I want you to do a voice in goofy comedy, it's like everybody goes, oh yeah, okay.
Fun.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. What now?
You really met the moment.
Well, good.
With that one.
I used to stay up all night watching the polls. I was really into it.
Anymore? I just don't know.
I'd like to do it by myself at home, but it feels wrong.
Men, are you having electoral discomfort? Unsure whether your ballot will make it to where it needs to be by November 5th? At the Mayo Clinic, we're here to help.
My wife encouraged me to call, but I wasn't sure. I'm so glad I did.
This is a huge election, but if it doesn't seem as big as it used to, maybe it's that you're not trustworthy of the process.
So I can still vote by mail?
Yes, and you can do it early without any judgment.
I think I just did it.
I wouldn't be surprised. Get confidence back in your elections. Go to the Mayo Clinic and talk to one of our trained professionals. Or go vote in person. We don't care. Just vote.
Brad suggested a voice real fast at the end that I wasn't able to do. What was that one?
Yeah. Consult your doctor if your election lasts more than 2 months.
Yeah, see, that would have been the perfect ending.
Why didn't you do that?
I just ran out of time. I was doing it fast. Everything happens fast.
Maybe that's the problem.
There's a line in there that suggests that too. I don't remember exactly what it is.
I think both of Brett's lines were pretty.
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah.
So does he have no idea? He knows.
Oh no, he did the same thing where he just walks in, does his lines, walks out.
Oh my
Have fun.
gosh, we're losing friends, and one of them's our boss. Thank you for listening today. The results of the YouTube live chat poll. Which candidate has the momentum? Ryan, you said?
I said Kamala.
Brad?
Trump.
I'm saying Trump as well. I believe that momentum more. Over 320 votes. Donald Trump, 68% of you say Trump has the momentum. Take care of your mail problems over the weekend. We appreciate you. Thank you to our YouTube subscribers. Stream us on the Odyssey app. The Mark Reardon Show next.
This weekend, September 20th, 21st, and 22nd, it's the semi-annual Missouri Arms Collectors Gun Show at the Arnold Eagles Hall in Arnold, Missouri. Browse tables of firearms, ammo, knives, books, and military items. Buy, sell, or trade. Admission's only $10. Kids under 12 free with a paid adult, and parking is free. Don't miss the semi-annual Missouri Arms Collectors Gun Show this weekend at the Arnold Eagles on 1725 Jeffco Boulevard. For complete information, visit MissouriArms.com. The Missouri Arms Collectors Association is a not-for-profit NRA-affiliated club.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan from McKelvey Homes. This month, we're giving $18,980 off our homes in selected communities to celebrate 126 years of legendary quality and craftsmanship. In addition, our skilled craftsmen from the Mid-America Carpenters Union are offering McKelvey buyers up to $10,000 cash towards their new home for closing costs or lower interest rates. Combine these two incredible offers and save big on your McKelvey home. But hurry, this rare opportunity won't last long. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether